All right, welcome in Tuesday here. As, let's see, Barrett is at practice today, right?
Yes, he's down at the NovaCare complex watching a parade of players walk to the injury tent, apparently.
What do you mean?
Well, I keep following the Twitter feeds of John McMullen, and he updates it every time a player walks to the tent and then from the tent into the complex, like Andre Dillard did a few minutes ago, and a couple of other guys that I've hardly ever heard of.
Oh, well, look, if somebody that you haven't heard of is hurt, then I can't really say that it's a problem for you. It's a problem for the player.
Right.
But it's not a problem for us.
No, I don't have any problems.
Okay, good. You've got 99 problems and injuries aren't one? Is that
exactly right?
Okay.
Yeah, I got no problems.
All right. Fair enough. I did not realize that guys were flying and dropping like, I guess flies would be the better place to put it. Now, you clearly were not locked in to the 95-73 debacle of the Sixers-Mavericks game on, last night?
No, it was yesterday afternoon, late afternoon. I believe that started around 4 o'clock.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I was not locked in on that.
I don't even know. Where do you watch this?
I don't know. Maybe NBA TV, I would guess. Maybe ESPN might throw them up there, too.
You think they're carrying that?
They're probably carrying some of them.
Now, what's the over-under on how many innings you're going to watch tonight?
Well, I will watch until Aaron Nola leaves the game. I can guarantee you that.
Well, that's when it's going to get exciting, Harry.
Exciting?
Yes.
What? Watching slop bullpen arms come in and give up dingers? That's exciting?
I like to see the ball fly.
Oh, right? Okay.
So, no, I think that there are we have to place some sort of wager in here that's going to keep us throughout this game.
Keep us invested.
Correct. Otherwise, I think it's easy to bail. Now, totals, that's easy stuff. That's, run line, all that. I need something that is going to pay out as well as keep me invested, to your point, because I think it's an accurate one, beyond the whole scope of the money line or the total, even to commit an error or something like that, where I can root for it to happen without the score. I don't care about tonight from a fandom standpoint so much as I care about a way that I can make a bet, stay invested, and then if the Phillies win, that's a bonus.
Well, the Phillies are plus 140 at DraftKings right now, and the total sits at 8.5.
Okay.
Juiced minus 115 to the over.
Okay.
So that's the latest.
Juice to the over at 9?
Well, at 8.5, and the over is minus 115.
8.5 does seem a little low, doesn't it? I mean, Aaron Nola is not lights out by any means.
Well, he's good against the Dodgers.
Dodgers are pretty good on the road, though, aren't they?
Well, yeah, they're a good team, period. But, I mean, he's 2-0 career against the Dodgers with a pretty good ERA and in 4 starts. I just looked it up. Now, Scherzer, on the other hand, is also dominant against the Phillies.
All right, so maybe this is a total / first 5.
First 5 I like. I can commit to first 5.
Well, yeah, you'll be locked into both starting pitchers and the likelihood that either gets pulled.
Yeah.
All right, so what do you have first 5? Maybe we can work around that.
Let me check. First 5 innings. By the way, last night was a 0 night in sports, man. Was it? I was missing something last night.
Hey, man. I gotta tell you, I turned a quarter into $100 last night.
A quarter, like 25 cents?
25 cents into $100.
Now, how did you do that?
So what I did is I took my the site that I'm at, Awesemo, right? And I took all of their tennis projections. And I took that and I compared it to Pinnacle and the sharpest of lines for an upset. And what I did is I said, all right, well, Awesemo is telling everybody to run with Nick Kyrgios. How do you pronounce his last name? I have
no idea.
Right, the Greek fella who's really good at tennis.
Okay.
And he's also a little bit of a nutcase, right? So Awesemo was telling everybody to roll there. Well, I look at Pinnacle, and it was pretty much, it wasn't a huge dog, this guy Opelka, who wound up beating. So I went 5, like just in golf, where it's 5 of 6 who made the cut.
Okay.
I went 5 of 6 to win their matches. And the only one I had was like this ridiculous, almost dare I say, corrupt underdog who won, but finished 6th place in the tournament, Harry.
Nice.
And made that 25 cents and then some back. But
wow.
look,
Good
let
for
me
you.
add this. I did not watch a lick of tennis.
Good.
So I'm not saying that I did. No, I didn't watch any sports last night. Oh, no, actually I did. I got crushed. See, this is what happens. Your fandom prevailed last night. My betting got me in trouble. Not because I lost 2 bets, but because I was stuck watching meaningless baseball. And unlike you, I think I have regrets about how I spent my night last night.
Would you watch White Sox Twins?
Well, so this is what I had. I had the White Sox Twins, but I had Chicago. I busted them down to -1. That was over right away.
Yeah, they rolled.
Yeah, right away that was over. But unfortunately, I had the Royals.
Oh, against the Yankees.
Had the Royals +1. The push was there, and then these idiots tied up in the 9th and forced extras.
I know. Joke.
Live from the O'Reilly Auto Parts
I'm angry.
Studios.
Dodgers are -155 first 5.
And Harry Mays.
All right, so we are live right now. Barrett Brooks will join us coming up at some point in the second hour, but Kevin Cooney in hour 1.
Yes.
And I'm excited to chat with Kevin.
Me too. He's great. And he's great, especially on the Phillies. He's great on everything, but right now it's Phillies season, and I know he is more than knee deep in Phillies discussion. So we'll talk about the Phils with him, and then at noon, our other Kevin buddy, Kincaid.
Now, what's he doing that we needed to talk to him about?
Well, he's always on the cusp of the bag wars. We got to discuss that. Radio wars. Maybe there's some. Messi changed addresses, so I know he's very concerned about that.
Yeah,
because
I'm sure
he wanted to lure him to Philadelphia.
Oh my God! Do we need to ask him who's got a better chance of playing here, Messi or Dame Lillard? Is this? Do we need
610? That's a poll question. I think we can put that up there.
Too. That's so freaking.
Well, yeah. Also, with this Ben Simmons stuff now that is gaining steam, that Ben Simmons, doesn't talk to anybody with the Sixers and is not going to report the training camp. Kendrick Perkins, I believe, said this yesterday on The Jump. Were you not watching The Jump?
I do. First off, I do not watch The Jump. Secondly, what the hell? Kendrick Perkins all of a sudden knows what's going on here in this situation.
Well, he's got ties to players.
Yeah, right. So do the people who cover the team. All right. I mean, come on. This is all of a sudden, like, look at the 2 latest reports surrounding the Philadelphia 76ers. Is that Simmons has gone from, yes, complicit in the conversation, or that's probably a bad word, but involved. He has Clutch Sports involved and actively involved in pushing for a trade to now not talking to anybody back here.
Right.
And then on top of that, I'm supposed to believe that Joel Embiid is constantly hey, man.
Yeah.
Are
He's
you
not
there?
returning his texts either.
Get out of here.
He's ghosting Joel Embiid.
Embiid's skin is way too thick for that type of stuff. I could see the opposite. I could see Simmons trying to reach out to Joel. Oh, who the hell is this? Get out of here. Not bad, right? I heard conference Embiid this morning.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's pretty good. We should get Joe on.
We should.
I guess we can't.
Why not?
Here on the network. Well, yeah, you're right. We're not live locally on the radio here.
Why not?
We should get Conklin on. Should we send him a DM?
Let's do it.
What we should do is we should have him come on, but not like himself as the video. You know how they do that? Not the pixelated stuff, because I don't think we have the technology to do it, but we darken the room or something, so it's just a silhouette.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So we could still see his gesticulations as he's moving around.
Like they would do on like 60 Minutes when they'd have a guest on that didn't want to be outed,
exactly
visually, but oh, yeah, that'd be good.
Wasn't that disturbing the first time you heard a woman that her voice was like alter? I'd like to say.
Yes, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like, whoa, I'm not ready for this.
I know.
Well, yes, I'd like to say.
Remember, we're talking about Lou Diamond Phillips. That's how the bad guy sounds. If anybody's ever seen The First Power, that old movie I was telling you about, he sounds like that, like the voice.
I'd like to take you down.
I don't know. I don't know. All right, we got the last tennis bets I'll ever place. You ready?
The last one.
I'm sweating them out right now. No, I jumped right back into DFS tennis today. I'm rolling, bro. I'm rolling. Telling you, man, I'm rolling.
Wow.
This guy,
Dodgers minus 155 first 5. 4.5 is the under.
I don't know if I want to take a team. I think I want to take the total. I think I want to go over.
Juice to the under.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think I'm going to do that. All right, let's look at this here. Boy. You know, the Dodgers right now, let's just look at where LA is really quick because, you know, I hear like, you know, people say, I hear my mom talking, I hear my dad talking. They may not even be past, but just like in your head, the person of reason, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I can hear, you know, the PGF or somebody sharp that we know. Dodgers have not been great as of late, but the schedule has not been necessarily favorable to them. Now, they have turned things around recently if you look at what they've done over the last 5 or 6 as compared to their last 10.
Mm.
You know, that series against the Giants was not great. I don't know. Trey Turner, Max Muncy, both starting tonight, right? This is a full lineup tonight for the Dodgers, what we're led to believe.
Okay.
I don't think anybody's out for the Philly. Is Reese still out?
Not sure.
That's the one to look at, right? Boy, I tell you, this game, man. I would buy a run on the Dodgers at this point, wouldn't you? Play the push.
What do you mean play the push?
So
this is The Middle on the SportsMap Radio Network.
Presented by Rocket Mortgage.
Live from the O'Reilly Auto Parts Studios. Here's Eytan Shander, Barrett Brooks, and Harry Mays.
Okay, so this is what I'm looking at tonight. Kevin Cooney's going to join us. Now, do you think Kevin has some sort of he's been on the morning show on one of our radio stations here in Philadelphia so often that the host introduces him, and it's like
Kevin Cooney.
I'm telling you, it's like what's that Buffer guy? Michael Buffer. And now, but it's in his voice, right? Oh, now we got. So I wonder, does he expect that everywhere he goes?
I don't think so.
No,
no, he doesn't strike me as a man with a huge ego. I think he's a very humble man.
Right. And I don't think Kevin Cooney would ever say anything to the host where it's like, hey, man, not even after the fact. Hey, man, what kind of introduction was that?
Yeah.
But I just wonder
over the top.
I mean, come on, man. If every single day we introduced you as long-time radio legend, Philadelphia Radio Pipe Hall of Famer, Harry Mays is in the house.
It's embarrassing.
And then you went on to another show, and they're like, oh, here's Harry Mays.
Don't
you feel a little let down, like natural letdown?
No, I'd feel more comfortable, actually.
Maybe that's just you.
Yes, that is just me.
You're a bad example to do this exercise with. That's it. All right, now what do we do here? This is what I'm looking at tonight. All right. I don't mind the juice. I understand I'm going to lay a little juice here, but buying a run on the Dodgers is not terrible. They, again, where they are right now, the talent that they have, I know they're technically not a first place team, but pretty much everywhere else they are. And that gap is not insurmountable by any means. So these are the two bets I'm looking at, and they're conflicting. So I don't know what you like better, Harry. Laying the 1. Now you have the bottom half of the 9th where, again, even with the Phillies making a comeback, you still have either, like last night, the Yankees -1 was the play because even when they tie it up, Kansas City, you push to extras, and now you start with a man on second. So I feel like the road team, and again, you have to be a good team. This is not just a piece of crap team we're talking about, but the road Dodgers -1 at -130 or have it, 133, depending on where you have it. I don't hate that. The other bet I would look at would be playing the same scenario where at least you have a cushion, and that's what I did last night with KC where I got burned, which is the Phillies +1 at +110. So I'm going to eliminate this hook. I don't want the 1.5 on either side of it. I don't mind paying up a little bit for the Dodgers, who are the better team, laying only 1 run on the road versus the Phillies, who we know at least have the bats to come back in the bottom of the 9th. Even if that comes up short, I have a cushion of a run. Your thoughts?
Okay. Well, I'm just going to take Phillies plus 135 for first 5.
Just on the money line?
Yeah. First 5. Plus
All right.
135. I'll just ride with that.
Well, why not just roll something deep? I mean, you think the Phillies are going to blow a lead? If Aaron Nola has the lead, they probably won't take him out, right?
Because I'm only interested in when Aaron Nola's in the game. Okay?
Well, that's what I'm saying. So I think you could stretch this, right? Like, I think you could stretch this even more so to where the Phillies, like, you could double that. Because if the Phillies win the first 5, Aaron Nola is still in the game after 5. He's not going to get pulled. That's my point.
Yeah, I get that, but that doesn't mean he lasts into the 8th.
No, I get that as well.
You know, it's not like a Wheeler performance on Sunday. I'm not expecting anything like that. Not against this team.
All right, so
the Mets can't hit.
You're right. The Mets are the last team you want to use as a barometer for what should happen tonight. Now, here's what I would say. If you're going to do that, then I would add in as well, and let's see what this is, because you're not going to be able to, unless you can same game parlay this. Are you on DK still?
Well, I'm on one that shows a various books. The only one that's showing a first 5, though, is William Hill right now and Caesars.
Well, that's the same, isn't it now?
Yeah, I believe so.
Ooh. Yeah. So you can't even get, I thought you had DK first 5.
No, DK's got nothing listed here.
That's interesting. Fox doesn't either.
Mm-hmm.
Twin Spires, I'm looking around here. Now, I can get you a sharp line on Russian ping pong, but I want to wait on that.
I'm out on that.
So the Phillies are plus 140 overall.
Plus 135 for first 5.
135 first 5.
Yeah.
So here's what I would do. If you're going to do that, plus 135 for first 5, I'd also take them at plus 1.5 minus 120, and you're going to win both of those bets.
Okay. Yeah, I could roll with that.
All right. See? Now, again, I'm looking for the in-game, same game parlay, right?
Mm-hmm.
You don't like the total at all? Because I think we both like the sight of the Phillies winning this. Again, do the Phillies win a high-scoring game? Probably not.
No.
Do they win a low-scoring game? Yes. Phillies under 8.5 is plus 320. I feel like if you're going to make... All right, so these are the 3 bets. You have it? We just put together 3 right here.
We got 3?
Yeah, Phillies money line first half. Phillies plus 1.5 to win the game.
Right.
Including extras. That's key to let people know. This includes extras. And then overall, I think if you're going to take the Phillies first 5, if you're going to take the Phillies plus 1.5 to ensure that cushion when the bullpen gets a little shaky, I think you roll under 8.5. The damage.
Like
okay, there we go. So
yeah. Now, what does that come to if you put it all together?
I know you can't.
Oh, you can't.
No, because, well, first off, I don't have, like you said, I don't have that first 5. Oh, no, wait. Here I do. Plus 135. I can't same game parlay that. Maybe FanDuel would allow me to. Well,
so there's no round robin available for this.
No, because it's all the same game.
Yeah.
So it's the same reason, like, I wanted to parlay Zach Wheeler winning the Cy Young, Bryce Harper winning the MVP, and the Phillies winning the NL East. But even that, I couldn't do. Now, did you see, this came from our buddy Jimmy, but did you see this?
Our buddy Jimmy?
Jimmy Shapiro.
Oh, okay.
Who handles a lot now for Bet Online, right?
Right.
Let me see, by the way, if FanDuel allows...
Global market.
Global market, correct. If FanDuel is going to allow a same-game parlay on this, because oh, here we go. Okay, we're going to have some fun with this in a second. By the way, Phillies, we said plus 1.5, right? That's minus 122 at FanDuel. So you're gaining 8 points of value right there. The first half result, we said Phillies plus 180 here. Now, the draw is in play. Well, that's why, because the draw is in play.
Oh.
So do you like that? Do you like that? Again,
yes.
Okay, you're going to have to roll with that. And then we said finally the total, right?
Under 8.5.
How about an alternate total? Is there, you okay with that?
What, going 7.5?
Well, I mean, look, we can go 7.5 or we can go 6.5. You're going to lay juice here, but we're running an in-game parlay anyway, right?
6.5 is a little low, isn't it? I could see this for a 4-3 game very easily. 5-2, 4-3.
So you don't even like 7.5?
No, 7.5 I could see.
Okay. Now it's not letting me combine the Phillies plus 1.5 on this. So if I take that out, I can get the Phillies first half over 6.5, over 7.5 at plus 300.
Plus 300?
That's the in-game, same game parlay with the Phillies winning the first half over 6.5, over 7.5.
Oh, so you're taking the overs. All right.
Why, do you like the unders?
Yeah, no, but it's that I thought we were all on agreement on an under, but now with that plus 300, it's pretty good.
Well, hold on. We can manipulate that. Hold on a second. Do you want to go under? All right, we can go under 10.5 and 9.5. How about that?
Oh, yeah. Now that's good. Gives a little cushion.
Plus 310 right there. So Phillies
Scherzer has 195 strikeouts against the Phillies in his career in 24 appearances.
They like to swing the bat here too. So
and a whip of under 1.
Yeah, I like jumping this up. Now, this would be total contrarian here. If this thing ends at like 11 runs, then everybody's going to lose. So I'm okay with that. There it is. Phillies first half. I wonder why I can't put that run line in there. That's disappointing. We might as well just run the Phillies as a whole then, right? Or do you not trust them being able to hold on the lead and win this game tonight?
No, I don't. Why should I?
Maybe I can get just a little greedy.
Yeah.
If I add the Phillies to win the game, then it's at plus 419.
Oh, wow.
Come on.
Now, 300's good enough for me.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Not the movie 300, huh? 310, by the way. That's what we got.
Okay. That's pretty good.
Bryce Harper was off the board a week ago from yesterday, August 2nd. You couldn't even get him on the board.
At MVP?
Yep. He's at what, plus 250 now, something like that, 270.
Yeah, and I went looking through all the National League stuff today for Bryce Harper. You know, he's 7th in the NL in batting average, which he's got a very nice average. He's 14th in the NL in runs scored, 26th in hits, 49th in RBIs. Right. There are four Phillies players ahead of him in RBIs, including Bohm, by the way. In doubles, he's 9th. Home runs, 17th. And walks is his best category, where he's 6th in the NL. Now, how does that add up to an MVP?
Because his on-base plus slugging is right there at the top.
Okay, that's one category.
Yeah, but that category is, and I'm not defending the full-on application of analytics versus not, because that's going to be what it's going to take it into. That's taking your on-base percentage, which factors in how you get on base, simply getting on base, and adds your slugging percentage. So it's a lot of analytics is basically taking multiple different stats and combining them into one. So it's an easy way to refer to somebody.
Okay.
Right? Now, if you wanted to extrapolate as you did, I think you're right. Individually, you look at, but let's look at other guys who are at the top there. I mean, Trey Turner, Max Muncy, right?
Like Freddie Freeman.
Right.
You know, you look at him. I think he's more of an MVP right now. Now, it depends what happens. If Harper keeps on this tear and carries the Phillies to an NL East crown, okay. But, you know, he's going to have to improve in a bunch of these categories. For me, if I had a vote to give it to him. Yeah. I mean, what if the Braves? I mean, the Braves are kind of the team that has taken over the Mets now, too. So, you know, Freddie Freeman could find his way in there.
Yeah, I think that's where this is all predicated on who you have winning the division. So if you're going to place a wager on the Braves to win the division, then you better put money on Freddie Freeman to win the MVP. Just like we talked about last Friday with Bob Wankel and the Philadelphia Phillies, that was just winning the series. Same thing applies now for them winning the division. There's no way Bryce Harper wins the MVP if they don't win the division.
Correct, because then they're going to miss the playoffs.
Exactly right. Yeah. And I'd make the same argument with Freddie Freeman. Freddie Freeman winning the MVP.
Yeah, there's no wild card coming out of the East. No. Not with what's going on out West.
Which, again, is probably going to, I think, have an impact on either one of these guys, both of these guys winning it when it's all said and done, where they look at this team and say, yeah, you guys won. You were the best slop of the slop. You know, something along those lines. Oh, we're going to break now on the network. We'll be back on the JAKIB Media YouTube page with Kevin Cooney. So hang tight. All right. It is the middle on the JAKIB Media YouTube page. Make sure you like, you share to the world, and are subscribed to the show page. We're live and local from the Fritz and Bean Cooley Law Studio. If you know someone who suffered a personal injury, contact Brian Fritz directly. In the middle is sponsored by Pure Bull Beef Jerky. Get yours now. Go to steersnacks.com. We are back in. Oh, hold on, Ron Culver. Hold on. Let me get it up here. We're back in 3 across the board.
I get scared sometimes.
Of a lot of things.
Joining in.
Decisions.
The dark.
The dark.
But I once heard someone say,
But as I always say,
it's okay to be afraid.
As long as you face the fear.
And keep moving forward.
Wherever you are in life, count on the name trusted in insurance for over 80 years. Independence Blue Cross.
Ah, the savoring taste of a good bag of beef jerky is so enjoyable at any time of the day, as long as you can find it. Here's what we suggest. Pure Bull Beef Jerky is our answer, and soon it will be yours. Locally produced in the Philadelphia region, this high-quality, healthy protein snack is easy to secure. Go to steersnacks.com, and you'll see hot garlic, tropical heat, Pure Bull dry rub, and our favorite, Huck and Fod. What's that? Huck and Fod. Go now to steersnacks.com.
Welcome to the Wildwoods, the perfect place where you can safely do everything or nothing at all. Catch a wave, take a nap, go for a drive, grab a bite. It's your vacation, and we're doing everything we can to make it a safe one. The Wildwoods. Your vacation, your way.
The International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local Union 98, is a proud sponsor of The Labor Show with J. Doc and Krause every Saturday night from 6 till 8 p.m. IBEW Local 98's highly trained and superbly skilled electricians are the best in the business, setting the highest safety standards in the electrical industry. So when you're planning your next industrial, commercial, or residential project, choose an IBEW Local 98 union contractor. Learn more at ibew98.org.
Field of life, First Trust Bank is there for you. Champions on 3. 1, 2, 3. Because Philadelphia dreams deserve a Philadelphia bank.
This is a key. It's a family tree. It's a pair of wings. It's a secret handshake. And a ticket to anywhere in the world. It's more than a uniform. It's the door to a world most people only dream of. There's Strong, and then there's Army Strong. Try it on at GoArmy.com.
The Sports Map Radio Network.
Presented by Rocket Mortgage.
Live from the O'Reilly Auto Parts Studios. Here's Eytan Shander, Barrett Brooks, and Harry Mays.
And right away, look at that. We are joined by Kevin Cooney. And it's always a pleasure, Kevin. We appreciate you popping on. And it's great to see you as well as hear you.
Wow, that's a rare thing podcast. Working the beat, buddy.
Yeah, we're going to tell everybody. Now, we were curious, right? Because now, first off, you can follow Kevin on Twitter at Kevin Cooney, as Harry mentioned, working the beat. But you can see him on the AP, Philly Voice, covering baseball first and foremost, and anything else I'm sure he can squeeze in. Now, here's what we were asking earlier, because, you are one of the best guys we know. You are as humble as it gets. You're just a great dude all around. But you're also a human being. So you go on a show where the host builds up everybody, including you. Kevin Cody is joined, and there's this huge. Do you ever feel this letdown when you come on a show like ours and we're like, "Hey, Kev, how you doing, man? Good to see you."
First of all, you need a little more Rhode Island in that accent. Second, I texted this to Harry because I heard you guys talking about it earlier, and whenever I'm done with Angelo, I'll say his name, Angelo.
Oh, no, we talk about him all the time.
Okay. And whenever I get off the phone after the big build-up and I do my segment, my wife usually calls me a moron at some point. So that's
brings you right back down.
It brings me right back down and goes, okay, moron, take out the trash or something.
Right.
Yeah. I'm a sports writer. I'm not exactly a chemist or a doctor or a cop. So anything I get, I keep in the proper perspective that 900 other people probably could be doing this as well. So.
All right,
900 for you, 9,000 for what we do, Harry and I. So.
Exactly. Yes. All right, let's keep the Phillies in perspective because they've had a couple of good games, 8 in a row. They got their biggest game of the year starting tonight with Nola on the mound against Scherzer. How good is this team to this point in your view?
Well, I think we should, give them a round of applause that they've delayed Eagles talk for another week in a lot of ways in this town.
That's a good point.
Look,
you know what that means.
Yeah.
So you want to trade Jalen Hurts? Ow. Sorry, Kev, I'm sorry. Last one, I couldn't resist. I apologize.
No, that's okay. And that was a better Rhode Island accent. No, look, they are not as good as they appear now, and they were never really as bad as they appeared 2 weeks ago. They're flawed. They're like every other team in this division. They are flawed with poor defense, questionable bullpen, inconsistent lineup. I think the one thing, Harry, that I look at out of this run is they're doing this, though, without McCutchen, without Gregorius for long periods of it, without Hoskins for long periods of it, and you're getting the Torreses and the Jankowskis and all these guys who are playing little roles in all of this coming up. And you're also doing it without – it's important to note they got Freddie Galvis for a reason, and they haven't even been able to really use him yet, presumably to replace whatever that is at third base with Alec Boehm defensively. So I think you're at a point right now where they are good enough. If they survive the next 2 weeks are going to be rough because you have the Dodgers, you have the Reds who are pretty good. Nobody sees the Reds in this town. The Reds are pretty good. Then you go to San Diego as part of that road trip.
Yeah,
and then you
Arizona's
get Tampa Bay
mixed in there, and then that
Arizona's mixed in, and then Tampa Bay. If you survive this stretch, then you're in really good shape, I think, going forward because the schedule does ease up a lot when you get into September and you have a lot of, you have the Pirates, you have the Diamondbacks, you have the Orioles. Yeah, and the rest of the division teams that
all on the road though. They're all on the road. The division games in September. That's crazy.
Yeah, that was kind of the funky thing in looking at their schedule, that they're done with all their division games at home. And Harry, I heard you guys talking about Scherzer and Nola tonight.
Yeah, this
is a rare occasion. This is going to be Max Scherzer's fourth start at Citizens Bank Park this year, and that never happens because a guy normally never has that opportunity. You play your division rivals 3 times at home in a year. You usually don't get the same starting pitchers in that. 3 different series, and now you get him traded, so you have him for a 4th time, and he's been great at Citizens Bank Park. He's throwing, I think, to a 1.7 ERA. This is a big testing point for this team tonight. I really believe that.
I'm just curious to go back to something, and it's more of a big picture question than right now specifically heading into tonight, although it does factor in. How bad is this team defensively?
I've covered this team almost 20 years. This is by far the worst, and it's one of the worst I've ever seen. Yeah, still. Because and in factoring the normal lineup in there. Gregorius is awful. Boehm is a disaster. Hoskins is not good at first. He's been adequate. He's not been great. And 2 of your 3 outfield spots you have serious questions over. So, and that includes Harper, by the way. Harper defensively this year has taken a big step backwards. If you remember the series in Pittsburgh before this all began, before we start hearing MVP talk, Bryce Harper did not look good. He had the back issue and everything. He misplayed a couple fly balls. They have given a lot of outs away, and with this pitching staff, you can't afford that. I believe at some point, if they fall short, it will be the defenses why they fall short.
They got Gibson going tomorrow night against Price, and he was one of their moves at the deadline. Overall, what did you think of what they did at the deadline? Did you agree with the buying versus selling, and did you like who they got?
Well, Harry, I think if you look at it, they really couldn't sell at that point because they were close enough. The Mets had let them hang around long enough that you couldn't justify a sale. And they don't have a minor league system that allowed them to go play in the big pool. Bryant and Kimbrel and all those guys. So to me, I liked what Dombrowski did because it was targeted. Gibson is a good pitcher. He's not an ace. He's a number 3, number 4 guy.
Yep.
But it's a targeted move. And those are the type of deals. And Harry, we've talked about this in the past. That's what Pat Gillick was so good at. And I think that's the big difference you're seeing between Dombrowski and Klentak.
Kevin, real quick, we're going to break on the network. We're still going to be live at the JAKIB Media YouTube page. So just hold tight. We'll be back in 3 on Sports Map Radio. Kevin Cooney is hanging out with us. We have a lot more of the Phillies, this huge series. We also have this call from Cricket that Ron sent us this hour. So don't go anywhere on Jake Asman's last day on Sports Map Radio. All right, Kev, go ahead, sir.
No. I think that's the difference. I mean, the difference is that you saw the little moves. Ian Kennedy's a better option at closer. Gibson was a better option in the rotation. The Galvis move could be pretty important going forward. Those type of moves are the ones that Klentak was not able to be successful on.
That's fair. Yeah.
Now, tonight we were talking about a couple of different angles, right? And I think what we've come down to is that the Phillies can win the first 5, that this is probably going to be a lower scoring game than not. And I don't know. I'm torn as far as who wins the game, especially because of the bullpen and the defense. But I feel like, to Harry's point, with Nola and Scherzer on the mound, it should be a low-scoring first half of the game where maybe it's a 1-0 or 2-1 Phillies lead.
If you get out of the first inning without a bunch of runs,
damage.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Well, let's start with the obvious. This is the biggest start of Aaron Nola's Phillies career to this point.
That's a huge statement that I think I agree 100% with.
Because of all the starting pitching performances that we've seen in this streak, he turned in the worst one. That Thursday afternoon game in Washington was arguably the worst by a Phillies starting pitcher, obviously except for the bullpen game on Saturday. And even, if you count the bullpen game, I shouldn't even say that, in this stretch. And Nola's reputation, fair or not, has been not great in big moments, not great in September or pennant race situations, and you're going up against Scherzer. So you need him to have a really strong outing. Now, Girardi probably will go to the bullpen a little earlier than normal. You would normally expect in a Nola game because his guys have been rested for 2 straight days because obviously Wheeler took up the big part of the load on Sunday.
What a performance that was, huh?
That was unbelievable. So if you want to look at it, I think there's a lot of pressure on Aaron Nola, and Scherzer's history in Philly is always pretty good. I would tend to favor the Dodgers on a night like tonight, just because the Phillies are due to lose a game like this. They just really are. That doesn't mean they're going to lose the series. That doesn't mean that their momentum is totally broken, but this just feels like a good spot for the Dodgers tonight.
Yeah, man, I'm telling you, I'd rather lay the 1 run with the Dodgers than get the 1 run with the Phillies, if that makes sense. From a stamp, right? You know what? I set you up, and now we're going to be back in 10 seconds. Just give me a second. Let me bring
Not
it
a problem.
That's my fault.
In the name.
Here we go.
This is The Middle on the SportsMap Radio Network.
Presented by Rocket Mortgage.
Live from the O'Reilly Auto Parts Studios, here's Eytan Shander, Barrett Brooks, and Harry Mays.
Well, Kevin Cooney still hanging with us in the house as we are getting ready for, and I'll just rip it right from what he just said in the break, Aaron Nola's biggest start of his Philadelphia Phillies career. I imagine that's the biggest start of his career. I mean, I don't know. Was there a start before he got here that made or broke whether or not he would be in the majors? Maybe that would be
at LSU, or are we going back to high school?
I don't know. I mean, maybe he and Ben Simmons had some tape back at LSU, some hidden gem tape that's going to come out at some point. I don't know. I'm asking, Harry. That's all.
You know, it's funny. I actually, now that you mentioned the LSU connection, boy, they're awful similar in a lot of ways. Like,
you're not going to go Simmons and Nola, are you?
Oh, I like this.
I mean, they both don't say anything if you think about it.
Mhm.
Okay. And they both have been built to this level, and they both, to be honest, I don't think have done anything to really warrant the level they've reached. So to me, they're a little bit of this. I don't want to say the same guy, because Aaron Nola is a lot more humble than Ben Simmons.
Mm-hmm.
But in a lot of ways, their performances are not that dissimilar.
Wait a second. So I'm sorry, Harry, but is there any truth to the rumor that Aaron Nola spends about 6 or 7 hours a day throwing a knuckle curve, but refuses to do it when Joe Girardi and Clentak have asked in the past?
And true story, Eytan, he's really a left-hander, but he just does it right-handed.
Right.
And nobody quite knows.
He doesn't have any connection to the Kardashians, does he, that we know of? Nola?
He bought a $20 million house in Santa Monica, and he's dating a British talk show host. I don't know. No.
Get back in the gym, Aaron.
Yeah.
I led you right into that.
Yep.
Eytan. That's all.
That's his fault.
That is my fault.
Yeah.
No, I mean, look, he's the type of guy. Wheeler has established himself as number one, and that's fine.
I love it.
And you know, the question becomes, well, what is he then? Is he a true number two? I'm not sure he's performed to that level either. And if that's the case, then if you're the Phillies, and I think it's a question for the offseason, you know, he's got 2 years left on his deal. He's fairly affordable. Will teams want to trade for him in the offseason? And will that return be able to kickstart maybe a minor league system that needs repair, or get you some pieces that you're going to need moving forward? I think the one thing that's going to be interesting, and this is a big picture thing going forward, Eytan and Harry. I think the one thing that's going to be interesting is to see how Dombrowski looks at this team in the offseason, because they're going to have some payroll coming off the books. McCutchen's coming off the books. They're going to lose the Herrera contract. They have a lot of holes to fill, but they do have some pieces that will be interesting if you decide to think outside the box. Bohm would be one, Hoskins another, Nola would be another, that if they want to move on and try to rebuild, they could maybe do it a little bit in the offseason on the fly.
Kevin, if the Phillies win the NL East, is Harper the MVP, even though as it stands right now, he's not even number one in several major categories on his own team?
Yeah, he would be. One, let's also put the caveat in there. You know, no Acuna, no Tatis. The field's been watered down.
But that helps.
It does. And I think that normally we wouldn't be having this conversation about him, especially with the RBI numbers. And I heard you mention that, Harry, earlier on. The fact that a lot of his home runs are solos. He probably should be driving in more runs at this point. But what he's done since July 1st has been off the charts good. He's helped revive a franchise that has been decimated and down. And if he ends up beating the Braves out, there's no other. You look at the other division leaders. Do the Giants have anybody that strikes you as an MVP? Not really. Do the Dodgers have anybody right now that you would say is healthy enough to be an MVP? Probably not. The Brewers the same way. So naturally, I think the idea is going to be that the attention is going to flow to him or Freddie Freeman at the Braves end.
Yeah.
And those are the two teams left in this.
Right.
I think in the next 2 weeks, you're going to see the Mets totally fall out of the race with all the games against the Dodgers and Giants they have coming up.
Right. Gabe Kapler's not eligible for MVP, is he?
No, he's not.
Though, right?
But it's outstanding.
Is he going to win Manager of the Year or no? Right?
He's going to run away with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's going to run away with it.
Now,
and rightfully so. Rightfully so. I mean, that's not a great team.
No.
You look at their lineup.
I don't know how they're winning.
You didn't have a great team here, though, right? So what's the difference? And I'm sure there is a significant difference, probably more outside of Gabe than inside of Gabe. I'm just curious.
Maybe him maturing as a manager, not thinking he has to be the smartest guy in the room. Maybe it's the oversight he has from his front office. I think Gabe may have had a little bit. I'll give Gabe this. Guys tended to play for Gabe for the most part, until their talent kind of gave out. I do think he has a better roster now in San Francisco than he ever had here, but they're not as good as the Dodgers and they're not as good as the Padres. And that's what makes this kind of head scratching at this point.
We're not 30 games over 500.
Yeah. But you know what? Hey, Harry.
Yeah.
And Eytan, would it stun you if they got B in the first round?
No, it wouldn't. No, absolutely not. No. But they're a plus 130 in run differential.
I mean, think about this. They could end up playing the Dodgers or the Padres in the first round of the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
And I would venture to guess in a 5-game series, either one of the wild card teams would be favored over them.
Yes. And I would take either one of the wild card teams.
Yeah.
Dodgers, I don't know if I'm convinced San Diego, but I know they score a ton of runs as well. Here's the thing, though. I mean, are they getting beat by Milwaukee or whoever the hell survived the slop in the East?
They could get by. Well,
Cincinnati, I think, is definitely a conversation because they can turn it on, but so can Milwaukee.
Right. I would say Milwaukee has a shot. Now, remember, in the first round, now the way the playoffs are set up, you always the top seed will always play the wild card team. It used to be they avoided division rematches. Now, so they're probably going to end up playing one of their teams in that division because they're going to win home field, I would imagine, through the National League playoffs.
But if the Giants won that matchup, then they'd play the Phillies. If the Phillies won the NL, probably.
That's deep down. That's what I'm really hoping for.
Yeah, I know you are.
I'm all for the chaos.
Yes.
Well, if you want chaos, then you'd root for Kapler.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I would want like the absolute. It would minimize the amount of Eagles talk to about 40 minutes an hour as opposed to 50 minutes an hour, 55 minutes an hour on some talk shows around here.
Well, we're just saving up for when Barrett joins us.
Right.
Now
we'll be all Eagles all the time.
No. I'm not saying
we'll get hit over the head.
I'm saying
that's fine. We deserve criticism like every other show.
No, I understand. I just, and look, I understand the Eagles drive the engine here. They do.
Yeah.
And they always will. And, but it's kind of nice to see that there's another option at least in town to talk about.
Well, I only started watching them this past weekend, Kevin, and I admit to that I'm a bandwagon baseball guy. I mean, at this point in my life,
you didn't even know that Acuna went down last week.
Exactly.
Telling you and Barrett that there was a guy above Harper on the OPS, and I'm struggling and fumbling for it.
I wasn't up on my OPS.
Well, no, you didn't even know that Acuna went down. I said, yeah, what about the Braves? There's an injury there, and I'm fumbling, bumbling, stumbling, and you're just staring at me like, who?
But guys, this is actually part of the problem with the sport. The sport has become that way, and
now you're letting Harry off the hook.
No, and I've covered. I love the game. I do.
I used to,
but I think the way they've gimmicked it up. I think the way that I hate the extra inning rule.
Oh, it's awful.
I hate the 7-inning doubleheaders. And I'm an old guy, so I'm
me too.
I'm yelling to get off my grass, but the sport itself doesn't market itself well enough. And I think it's fascinating to see when a team is good that people get interested, but the general sport, like how many people are going to watch the Field of Dreams game on Thursday night? Really?
Well, nobody.
I'll be watching
on Thursday Night Football.
Steelers Eagles.
Right.
And you've got three markets involved there.
I mean, and that's a big thing. Like, I'm sorry. I think this is something that baseball, like, they should have done that in July to get, and I know they maybe wanted to avoid going up against the Olympics, but the idea that you're doing against the first week of the NFL preseason is kind of silly in my mind.
Yeah, I agree. No, I think that it's
a poorly run sport.
To do this.
What I'm saying,
right?
Yeah.
Why that night? Right? Go up against that Jags game with Trevor Lawrence on Saturday or something. Make it is this the start of more gimmicks? Are we going to see the Bull Durham game the following year? Or?
Well, you've seen the Little League game the last couple of years out at Williamsport. You saw the London game. They've done the Tokyo series. They did one on the 4th of July. I think, Harry, was it an Air Force base down in North Carolina?
Oh yeah,
Fort Bragg.
Fort Bragg in North Carolina. Yeah, Army base.
You know what? I think it says something, guys, when you're trying to copy the NHL's formula, which is we're going to try to play a game in the most obscure. You don't see the NBA and the NFL doing this.
No.
You know,
college basketball did some on like an aircraft carrier stuff. You know,
I mean, you know, which is fine. It's cool for the moment, but I'm not sure if this is the way you sell the sport long term. You sell it by the stars of the game itself.
You raise an interesting point, and you bring up the NFL. And even the NBA, where they have looked at what they have now, baseball has a little bit of a different dynamic as far as internally in this country, but the NFL has pretty much reached max capacity in this country. They're not losing people. If somebody leaves, then there are about 2 people that are going to come back in that room, to use that analogy. So what they've done is they've said, well, how can we continue to grow? We go out, we play games in London, Mexico City, maybe Germany, maybe China, wherever it may be. NBA, we'll see that as well. Whereas I think baseball, they had that with Japan. I know it was the opener and the time difference and all, but I wonder if baseball does kind of make somewhat of a pivot that the NBA did when it was going through a little bit of a lull of popularity and say, you know, we're struggling a little bit here in this country, but China, South America, Europe, they love our product. Let's start pushing some stuff back there. Like, baseball could sacrifice a little of what you're saying internally and probably grow exponentially, even more so in Japan and South America.
Well, and I think you're seeing that anyway. You know, you see the Ohtani factor that's come in, you know, in the last year or so. You've seen in the Caribbean, you've had growth. Do they want to get into Europe and Australia and all those places? Yeah. You know, the one thing they could do, and this obviously is timed with what happened at the Olympics, you know, they're trying to encourage baseball to be a permanent fixture in the games. Well, then suspend the season for 2 weeks. Make that the All-Star game. You know, do something that makes it different. And look, you can cringe about what the Dream Team has become or the NHL shutting down for a couple of weeks and all that. It helps market those sports. You know, you see the NHL willing to go to Beijing, it sounds like, at this point, which is going to be played in the middle of the night. And it's all the issues that we've had would have been in place there, but they're still willing to do it for the long-term investment of the game and the showcase the stars, and the players want to do it. Well, why not do that with the Olympics in baseball as well?
I think that's Rhea texting you, Kevin, to book you for tomorrow's morning show.
Kevin, man, thank you for popping on with us. For
no problem, guys. Anytime.
This is great.
Thanks, Kevin.
Appreciate you, brother.
Be good, guys.
You got it. All right, we'll break. We'll wrap the hour coming up next. Kevin Kincaid should join us at noon. So we're going to break now and then come back and hopefully be joined by Kevin right as the hour begins. So we're back in 3 on the JAKIB Media YouTube page and SportsMap Radio.
I get scared sometimes.
Of a lot of things.
Joining in.
Decisions.
The dark.
The dark.
But I once heard someone say,
but as I always say,
it's okay to be afraid.
As long as you face the fear.
And keep moving forward.
Wherever you are in life, count on the name trusted in insurance for over 80 years. Independence Blue Cross.
The savoring taste of a good bag of beef jerky is so enjoyable at any time of the day, as long as you can find it. Here's what we suggest. Pure Bull beef jerky is our answer, and soon it will be yours. Locally produced in the Philadelphia region, this high-quality, healthy protein snack is easy to secure. Go to steersnacks.com and you'll see hot garlic, tropical heat, Pure Bull dry rub, and our favorite, Huck and Fod. What's that? Huck and Fod. Go now to steersnacks.com.
Welcome to the Wildwoods, the perfect place where you can safely do everything or nothing at all. Catch a wave, take a nap, go for a drive, grab a bite. It's your vacation, and we're doing everything we can to make it a safe one. The Wildwoods. Your vacation, your way.
The International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local Union 98, is a proud sponsor of The Labor Show with J. and Krause every Saturday night from 6 till 8 p.m. IBEW Local 98's highly trained and superbly skilled electricians are the best in the business, setting the highest safety standards in the electrical industry. So when you're planning your next industrial, commercial, or residential project, choose an IBEW Local 98 union contractor. Learn more at ibew98.org.
Field of life, First Trust Bank is there for you. Champions on 3, 1, 2, 3. Because Philadelphia dreams deserve a Philadelphia bank.
This is a key. It's a family tree. It's a pair of wings. It's a secret handshake. And a ticket to anywhere in the world. It's more than a uniform. It's the door to a world most people only dream of. There's Strong, and then there's Army Strong. Try it on at GoArmy.com.
Live from the O'Reilly Auto Parts Studios, here's Eytan Shander, Barrett Brooks, and Harry Mays.
All right, so second hour is about to kick off here. See Kevin Kincaid in the green room. And Barrett is going to be back with us when? 12:20?
Probably around 12:25, okay. I would say.
Okay. Now,
he's usually back from practice by then.
What's that? What's that?
What's that? I said he's usually back from practice by then.
No, but what time? Like 12:20?
12:25, I said, around there. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know that, man.
Yeah. That Field of Dreams game Thursday night. It was the Yankees White Sox, I believe, right?
I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
You're not going to watch that.
No, but it's the big thing on Fox. Isn't that odd? That is going on the first night that really preseason football begins en masse.
Yeah, I think it's
talk about bad timing.
It's a terrible oversight, which Major League Baseball has proven they're capable of, or it's an extreme level of hubris that we didn't think Major League Baseball was capable of.
Right.
I think it's
I want to believe it's the first.
I do too, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, when you vote for somebody and then they completely turn around and screw you in the rear and you're just like, oh, man, it must have been the other side.
Mm-hmm.
They did it. Right? It's like, I can't believe that Rob Manfred is this much of an arrogant sack. Like no. This had to have been an oversight, right?
You would think so, but I mean, I don't know how you make that oversight. I mean, they've got a couple of months there where they are really the only game in town. I know the NBA went late this year, but still, I mean, you got to do better. The lead article on ESPN's MLB section, okay?
Yes.
Is $30,000 in beer? ? How cup snakes are bringing baseball fans back together.
You know who's a fan of the cup snake?
Kevin Kincaid. Absolutely. And every reader of Crossing Broad.
Well, that's because of Kincaid. So we're going to be joined by him coming up next. I've seen you cup snake before.
He's the cup snake king.
Seriously.
Is that me?
Absolutely.
Do they do that at soccer games too?
Yeah, they do pretty much anything.
Well, you gotta wear a scarf when you do the cup snake at a soccer game.
I know. Yeah, you see the turnout for Messi in Paris.
We knew unbelievable. I knew you'd be. Are you wearing an armband, like a black armband or something, for the next week?
No, I feel like I should though. I hate him going there. It's like that league is not very good. He's just playing with all these other superstars. I thought he should have come to Philly.
I know you were leading the charge.
I know. I tried, man.
I admired that.
Well, is that league? I'm just curious. Is that league what the MLS was back when, like, Henry and a couple of other guys would come here just to kind of ride out?
No, it's just the problem with that league is that it's like top heavy. There's maybe like 3 good teams, and then all the other teams stink. So it's not interesting. Yeah, the team he's going to has won the league, I think, 7 out of the last 9 years.
Wow.
So yeah, it's kind of like a foregone conclusion that they're going to win it all. So it's no parity, Eytan. No parity.
I lose track of all these transfers over there, man. It's mind-boggling.
No.
You say that like you were tracking them in the first place.
Well, when I was really dialed in on the Premier League years ago, I did keep track of the transfer window, Eytan.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what it's deadline called. Day. Yeah, they got the Sky Sports personalities standing outside of the stadiums, and then the manager rolls by in his car and he rolls down the window and they stick the microphone in his face as he's. Can you imagine Doug P driving in? Yeah,
right.
Stick the microphone in his
You'd have sign man out there across the street.
Yeah, run the ball. Pound it.
Oh, now I got to ask you, what radio personality in Philadelphia is going to do the next crazy thing or dumb thing on Twitter?
Oh,
is that a poll?
Got to be Eytan Shander, don't you think?
I don't know, man.
He hasn't done anything in a long time.
Somehow me tweeting WIP as I was removed from the Fanatic schedule doesn't seem as bad.
Yeah,
did. Right?
I mean, you have totally come off the Mount Rushmore of things not to say on Twitter upon departure of
of the Fanatic, right? It's amazing. It's almost like it was by design back there.
I tell you what, it's like Sunday night and like that thing was going on, and then Fletcher Cox ignored Jeff McLean's question too, and I'm just like trying to watch the Union. I'm playing with my 2-year-old. I got people like blowing up my phone. Oh, you got to see this media thing. I'm like, dude, I'm not trying to do that right now. Like, can we please save it for Monday? I got like the Sunday night scaries or whatever they call it. I didn't want to go back to work, tried to avoid writing that story until I had to.
You had to. Exactly.
And then it did like 20,000 page views or something. So
yeah. And how about Eytan made a point of this, and he's right that the PR person for the Eagles just acted like nothing was happening.
And think about this, like as a member of the media now, as somebody who has been on the other side of the camera, not in front of it, but behind it. Look, I have an issue as far as like, I know what Fletcher Cox is doing. He's trying to set something up and have McLean as this, bad guy, boogeyman, whatever, and go back to it in week 6. They told us this. They said I was fat and all this stuff. Great. That's fine. Athletes do all that. But my bigger issue, and I know this sounds kind of weird to some people, was it's your job to let Jeff McLean know that he's not having technical difficulties because others may feel the same, and you are in a different world now in Zoom. You're not there in the same room. So she should have at least acknowledged and said, yes, Jeff, we can hear you. That's all I would have asked for.
Yeah, she could have been like, hey, Fletch, can you hear Jeff? Just confirm yes or no or whatever. But it made it seem like they were part of the ploy. It was this like big combo effort to ignore Jeff. But the weird thing about that, Eytan, was that they did Fletcher Cox spoke to media at training camp like a week and a half ago, whenever it started, and Jeff asked him a question at training camp and he answered it. So I don't know why he would. Oh yeah, it was like a week and a half ago. It was like the first day or the second day of training camp or whatever. And the story that Jeff wrote that I think was in dispute was like published in June, early June. Right. So the first time, there was a previous time where they interacted with each other. So I don't know why he wouldn't have done if he had planned to do the silent treatment or whatever. I don't know why he kicked the can down the road. If you're going to be an a-hole, you got to plan it out better, right?
Well, I don't know, man. Like maybe, okay, so if if I'm in a situation where you're covering me, right? Let's just do Radio Wars or something, right? And you're covering me, right? And we know that you're coming on to or you're interviewing us in some capacity. I may wake up that morning and send Harry a text and say, "Hey, watch how I mess with this guy. Watch how I give."
Oh yeah, like a heads up or something like that. Yeah.
Well, to like teammates or something, not to maybe the Eagles to the Eagles. Oh, you're saying that he should have said something to the Eagles ahead of time?
No. I mean, you never know who's in cahoots. You never know how deep these things go.
I believe everybody
is. Is it the deep state? I don't know how far into the Eagles organization.
I believe the deep state, the big whatever it may be, state, big brother, all that. Yes.
Who was in on it? Was Fletcher Cox acting alone?
No, Mike Lindell was there. We saw that.
What did he know and when did he know it?
When did he know?
Are you lying then or are you lying now, sir?
Right.
Exactly.
I'm just like, it's just funny because yesterday you have a day like you have that story and then you have the the Sierra thing going on, and it was like a banner day at Crossing Broad with site traffic, which is great because you love that. That's what you do. You got it. It's like the pinned tweet for the Onion. It's like, we don't make any money if you don't click the link.
Right.
But at the same time, then I could write the best story of all time and nobody reads it. Right. So it's like when you're a cover band and the one song is really, really crappy. And then people come up to you afterwards and they're like, yeah, that Sublime song is great.
Right. But your original
sounds like you're describing Smash Mouth.
Yeah.
Live from the O'Reilly Auto Parts studios, here's Eytan Shander, Barrett Brooks, and Harry Mays.
All right, we are live our second hour, and hopefully you've been watching on the JAKIB Media YouTube page as Kevin Kincaid, one Kevin to another, with Crossing Broad, who covers everything from Radio Wars to Bag Wars to Dumpster Wars to the Bagster Wars, right? To combine everything at once.
Yes, and he's got an Iron Maiden t-shirt on today. How fantastic is that?
Beautiful, man. Beautiful.
Yes. Now, will you be there at the Sovereign Bank Center in Reading, PA for Judas Priest's first concert in America on their U.S. tour?
Oh, hell yeah, I'm going to be there. I got tickets on the first day, Harry.
You did?
This will be the, hang on, let me think. This will be the 8th time I've seen the Priest. My favorite band of all time. They're playing in my home county of Berks County. Now, listen, I claim Berks County because I went to Boyertown, right?
Correct.
Right.
But half of the Boyertown school district is in Montgomery County.
Is in Montgomery, yeah.
See, I grew up in Montco, but I went to high school in Berks County. So we were playing, in sports, we'd play Governor Mifflin, Fleetwood, Wilson, Exeter, right?
Sure.
So I think it's reasonable that I claim Berks County, right?
Right.
Okay,
You and me. Yeah.
Exactly. So I'm definitely going. Looking forward to seeing the Priest on their 50th anniversary tour. They could trot Rob Halford out there at age 75, and I don't care. If they play 5 songs, I'll go see them.
Right. But if there was one band that I thought would not be doing this at this stage of their career, it would be them.
Well, yeah, they could have hung it up years ago. But
right.
They're like Mick Jagger. Now you roll them out there in the walker and strap a guitar to them, and they'll play. You know? And like it's either like really, really admirable or like, dude, you got to hang it up. But I think in terms of the Priest, they're playing like at half pace, like tune the guitars down so Halford can hit the notes now. But that's what I want to be doing when I'm 70 years old. I want to be at the what is it? The Sovereign? It's not the Santander anymore. It's the Sovereign.
No, they changed that. Right.
I still call it the Tweeter Center in Camden. I think there's like 5 iterations past that.
Right.
That's what I want to be doing at age 70. So.
Hold on one sec. We're back in 3. Kevin's in the house, and we'll see if they're going to go and run. Well, yeah, we'll talk about that coming up. All right. So how old is Dickinson right now, you think?
Bruce Dickinson?
Yeah.
They're all in their late 60s or early 70s.
Not Landon Dickinson.
No,
not Landon. Yeah. No, right.
All right, so, okay, I have every Iron Maiden song ranked from bad to worse.
Oh, man, there's got like 200 of them.
Well, there's 165. What would you say would be the worst song Iron Maiden ever put out?
Oh, my God. Something off the last album, probably.
Really? Because Loudwire wants you to believe it's something back in 1992 on the Fear of the Dark album.
Oh, that had some clunkers, yeah.
How about
Fear the
Weekend
Dark was the
Warrior?
only. They had two singles. They had 3 singles off that. 3 music videos. They had Fear the Dark. They had Wasting Love was a single off that, and they had oh my God, Judas My Guide, was that the other one? I can't remember.
Wow, this is deep.
I'm telling you, this is
maiden knowledge right here.
You see the drum videos, man? I got the guitars hanging on. This is what I do, Harry. You know. Yeah.
Weekend Warrior, by the way, was voted.
Weekend. That is a terrible song.
Yeah.
It's a terrible Iron Maiden song. Yeah. It doesn't sound anything like it. It's like they tried to do like a hair metal song or something. I don't think they stepped out on their own or whatever. But
I'm just curious, what would be the one song that they'd lead off with outside of Weekend Warrior that you'd look around and be like, are you kidding me? This is what I paid money to see? Dance of Death?
Dance of Death is a bad one. What do they have for the number 1 song? It's got to be like The Trooper or something.
The
right?
Trooper or Run to the Hills.
Yeah.
It's
2 minutes to midnight.
It ain't the loneliness of the long distance runner. I can tell you that. That's
a good jam. 1986, Somewhere in Time. That song. Yeah. They do this thing on the Crossing Broad Slack chat. They name a country and I tell them the capital. If you name an Iron Maiden song, I can probably tell you what year it was released.
Man on the Edge.
1995.
Album?
The X Factor.
Not bad at all.
You're not going to stump him.
Wildest Dreams.
2000. Did that album come out in 2002 or 2004? It was on like Dance of Death or something.
Yeah, the right name, split the difference.
Okay.
2003.
Wow.
All right.
Not bad. Now, what about Icarus? What was that song, right?
The Flight
of the Icarus.
Yeah. That was 1983 on Peace of Mind.
That's got to be a top song.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember that when I was a kid.
Yeah.
So, all right, last one for you here. Last Iron Maiden. Bring Your Daughter to the Slaughter.
Oh, that was on 1988's. Oh my God, what the hell is the name of that album? It came out after Somewhere in Time. Tail Gunner was the first song off the album. What's it called?
1990 was when it came out specifically.
Oh my
You're
God.
right there. It's on the tip of your tongue.
It had Bring Your Daughter to the Slaughter, Tail Gunner, Mother Russia was on that. I can name all the songs of the album. I can't tell you what the album is called though.
No Prayer for Dying.
No Prayer.
I need to see where Icarus is on this, man.
Where's Matthias? We need him on this one.
He's recording a Flyers podcast.
Yeah. And then he'll do some Pantera tunes on the guitar later.
Flight of the Icarus, by the way, of Icarus, by the way, is 1983, Peace of Mind, and is the 33rd best ranked. Now, do they play that, or is that way too commercial for them?
That goes in the set list every so often.
Okay.
Yeah. They got so many songs to pay. It's like Judas Priest got to do Breaking the Law, So,
Right.
Yeah, really? Still that?
Yeah.
Breaking the Law.
It's off of British Steel, man. Are you kidding me?
You got another thing coming.
Exactly.
Living after midnight.
I gotta ask you a sports question. I don't mean to derail the heavy metal, but the Phillies are playing a very important game tonight. In fact, Kevin Cooney, who we had on a little while ago, said this is the biggest start in Aaron Nola's baseball career tonight, and he was not being hyperbolic. How fired up are you for this series and what the Phillies are doing right now, or are you just like maybe some fans are like, you know what, this is a mirage. Let's just get to the Eagles.
I'm trying to be fired up. I've got, I'm skeptical about the long-term prospect of the pitching staff, but what am I going to do? Go Negadelphia and say, well, I don't think they can get it done in the postseason. So what am I going to sit here like a mope and not watch this series because I'm worried about what may or may not happen a couple months down the road? Like fans are coming back to the stadium. They're playing good baseball. Philly's a better sports town when the baseball team is good, I mean, I don't got to tell you guys. I think that probably that stretch from like 2010 to 2011 with the 4 aces and Joe Blanton. I swear to God that the Fanatic and WIP were taking more phone calls about the Phillies than the Eagles for a time, and they were top of the world for that short amount of time when Andy and the Dream Team were about to bite the dust, right? So I'm excited for it for sure.
So think about it though. You had the best possible distraction. Because the data that we all see and even the data that we're privy to that others aren't, it will constantly tell you that you have to be super creative or timely to talk about something not Eagles and it blow up, right?
Yeah.
So with that said, to your point, we had a stretch of 3 or 4 months where the brain could forget about look at the opposite. The opposite of that stretch, Kevin, was doing 6, or I felt like 6, was doing 3 months of Harry asking the public, would you trade up for Marcus Mariota?
Yeah.
It's a distraction, and I hate to use that term because the connotation of it is off, but it's the best possible distraction we have, and we don't think about it. Like, nobody in the middle of June, when this Phillies team is hot, to your point, is asking themselves, should we be talking about Jalen Hurts versus Joe Flacco? I mean, I kind of feel dirty not bringing them up. Nobody's doing that.
Yeah. But Philly's a baseball town, man. I mean, when Bob Wankel, who was the baseball machine,
was on with us Friday.
We had him on.
The Phillies stuff that he did over the weekend for the Mets series was doing insane numbers, insane traffic. And I think people got to remember too that Kyle, back in the day when Crossing Broad was founded, he did a lot of baseball stuff.
Yes.
Like before Radio Wars and all that stuff came on, Crossing Broad was really a Phillies blog, if you think about it. Like, that was the main sport that they did. And that
a lot of flyers too, right?
A lot of flyers. Yeah. And that audience is still that baseball audience never really went away. You can say it's niche, I mean, I guess, but even when people were saying, well, national baseball ratings are down, the local baseball ratings were always still very strong. Just because people weren't watching like Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN or whatever didn't mean that they weren't watching on NBC Sports Philadelphia watching the Phillies, so
right.
It's there. I mean, that market's still there, and look, we watched 10 years of crapola, so I think everybody who watched any of it over the time deserves a seat back on the bandwagon.
Well, speaking of clicks or page views, does Ben Simmons shooting an unguarded 3 in an empty gym in Los Angeles still get the clicks that it used to?
Yeah, it gets hate clicks, and now we're kind of just doing it in like a sardonic, like joking kind of way.
Right.
Let's give the people what they want. This is the video that they really want. Him shooting with Rajon Rondo.
Was that Rondo? And that's what I was going to ask. That looked like Rondo. Yeah, another 3-point ace.
Yeah. 2 absolute snipers out there on the floor. I know. And now they're like, now people like genuinely, when they were coming out a couple years ago, people loved it because they're like, oh, look at the form, look at the elbow, it's tucked in, and like, all this stuff. And now people, it's like a hate watch, it's a hate click or something like that, if that's a term, But the story beyond the Sierra story yesterday that did really well was Kendrick Perkins.
Oh,
I told you, Eytan.
I don't know if he knows anything about anything, but him saying that Ben Simmons is willing to sit out. That was the biggest, second biggest story of the day.
Because you would go to Kendrick Perkins, right? Even after it's been confirmed by you and your agent, after a Woj report weeks ago that he and Simmons and Clutch Sports were actively helping Daryl Morey trade him. Like, you don't go. The only way you could go from that is if Daryl Morey came back and said, there's no way possible. It's a 0% chance that we trade you, and Simmons throws a fit. Now, I don't know what's less believable, that or that Joel Embiid was trying to track down Ben Simmons on the phone. The thickest skinned athlete we've had in this city for how long is now reduced to, oh, please call me back, Ben. Come on.
Well, yeah. Do you think Joel Embiid is the kind of guy who's just blowing up Ben Simmons' phone trying to get him to call?
No, if anything, I believe the opposite, Kev.
Yeah. Exactly. I don't look with the Ben Simmons thing. It's just like, I feel like it's gotten to the point where it was like with Carson Wentz, this time last year or whatever, where, inevitably the relationship between the player and the fan base just naturally goes, there's nothing there anymore.
Is that going to happen with Harper?
Well,
outside of this stretch, it was happening, Kevin. You saw it. People were not recognizing that his numbers were pretty much the same, except for that one MVP year. And I think it's taken this run for people to kind of realize that not much has changed with him.
So you're telling me that all the pandering and the water ice and the gritty stuff that hasn't played well with the fan base, they haven't bought into.
I think they forgot, man. You're talking about somebody on Twitter who probably doesn't remember the last thing they posted, which is why they get self-owned when they post a contradictory post to somebody else. So
I don't know what the hang up with Harper is. It's like, if you look, I guess it's just the money in the contract, but I don't expect it. Like, what do you want him to be? Mike Trout? Like, you look at his numbers of what he was in Washington before he came here, and even before this hot stretch that he's on now, what he was last year and the year before is kind of what he was in Washington. Kevin Cooney will tell you the same thing. Like, you go look at his like reference page, like it's really not that much different. So
No.
you are getting the Bryce Harper that you thought you were getting. It's just you're getting him at 13 years and 300 bazillion, whatever it was, you know? So I think people can't get that out of their minds. And that comes with that's a Ben Simmons thing too, because you say he's an all-star, he's an elite defender, he's an elite passer, but you know, you don't max out guys who don't shoot, you know? So if Ben Simmons was a $20 million player, there'd be no issue.
Right. Who's more what's more misunderstood? Is it the Bryce Harper situation, the Ben Simmons situation, or season 2 of The Wire?
It's always going to be the Ben Simmons situation.
Not season 2. I gave you an easy out. Wow.
I know. It's always going to be the Ben Simmons. Well, not misunderstood, but incapable of being parsed correctly, you know. And I feel like as it's exhausting, especially for the media, and like, oh, woe is us, the media, our job is so hard. It's not. But you know, to try to be fair when half of the people are killing this guy and half of the people love him, you know, and you're just trying to find a middle road there that's fair, and say, look, he does this really well, this really well, this really well, and this really well, and the one thing he doesn't do, whatever, you know. But people can't compartmentalize that. They're incapable of kind of understanding this is the good and this is the bad. It's just all partisan crap all the time. And it's been really, really, really frustrating. I would go on the record to say that Ben is probably the most frustrating dude I've ever, you know, covered, quote unquote, covered in 12 years of doing Philly sports. By far the most polarizing dude.
Think about that, Harry. Like we've asked so many NBA people to come on and give it Josh Eberle the latest, Heelan. Like we've asked NBA people outside of the city, Kevin, that are national. Yeah. And Harry and I have tried to have this conversation with them, which is give us an example of somebody in the NBA and then give us an example of somebody in professional sports like this. And you just, I don't think you have anybody at all in the NBA like this ever in the history of the game. And, you know, outside of like, it would be like if Chuck Knobloch was hitting 350 and led the league in doubles when he couldn't throw to first base. So not even that, not even the yips. Like, again, I mean, Harry, do we have an example of somebody who would be, you know, the second or third best player on tour because they're just bombing the ball off the tee? Their irons are the best, but they're the worst putter on tour because they have the yips.
Can't really think of that.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's such a drastic difference in what's really good and what's either refusing to be done or really bad. I don't think we see that in sports.
No, and I think the frustration too, and I've said this before with you guys, I think that you know, in the case of like a Markelle Fultz, it's a throwaway because he's like a second-year player, and it's just like it ain't gonna work. We'll get rid of him, no harm, no foul, and everybody's going to go their separate ways. But with Ben, like you have seen the greatness there. It's like right there. He's got everything else. Literally everything else is in place. You know, he's got the body type. He's got the passing. He's got the defense. He's got the court vision. You know, he's stayed healthy. He rarely misses time due to injury. It's like I'm going to pull this one thing out of there.
Free throw.
And you're looking at like perennial like all-star is his like floor with the shot, and that's why it's exacerbated, because he's not, because other guys just ain't worth the time, but for him, you're like, dude, it's like you are right there. It's like you literally picked up the horse, put it in front of the lake, and you just like drink.
It will not drink. Yeah, it's almost like you want to drag him down to the local basketball court and give him like tips, because you're like, I know I can show him something.
And like on a serious note, Harry, we joke about these stupid Instagram videos, but like the one that came out yesterday, the form is perfectly fine.
Yeah.
There is nothing wrong with his form. He used to shoot with his elbow out and he'd kind of spin it and it would
like
look
a chicken
funky.
wing. And yeah.
But guess what? You know who else shot the ball, looked like a total weirdo? Was Reggie Miller's shot looked terrible. Yep. Sean Marion's shot looked terrible. Looked like a shot put. But enough of those shots went in for those guys. Where form doesn't really matter. His shot does not need to be broken down and completely rebuilt. The couple that he took last year, or 2 seasons ago at the beginning of the year, they look perfect.
He's just got no willingness to take
right
it
into a catch and shoot three, but there's no mechanical issue. So it's all up here.
All right, quick break. Kevin Kincaid's hanging with us. We got to talk about this thing with, I was waiting to see if it died down at all when practice was over. I guess practice is still going on, right? Technically, did they break yet?
I'm not sure. They've had notoriously short practice.
Yeah, they've been doing short practice.
We're going to break, but we got to play this video here in a minute as well. So stick around on the Sports Map Radio Network. We're back in 3 there. Still hanging on the middle. All right, now I got to give you, Ron Culver sent me this. So this is right up Kincaid's alley here because we can get a little cricket action going, right? Did you guys see this?
No, I have not seen this.
Did you see this?
No. If it had to do with cricket, I didn't see it.
Well, it was like a viral video. That's why. So let me go ahead, if I may, and pull this sucker up. I of course have to unmute and then share. Ron sent it. Said it. The headline of the email was, "This is the best call in the history of sports."
So this is play-by-play of a cricket match.
Well, you're going to see exactly what this is. All right, you ready?
Yes.
I looked on a poster. That has nailed him in the gooly woolly woolies. That is painful.
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
Are you
Woolly woolly wool.
As pain as he is. That is the woolies.
The woolies.
The woolly woolly what?
The woolly woolies. Now, they don't wear cups, I guess.
Himself.
You said ball the same ball.
He's bought the same ball. It's a rinse and repeat.
This time I gotta laugh at this.
Wait, they're using the same ball?
I've never seen this in the 25 years of being around this game. Even Nigel himself. Let's have a look at some of the interception points here for Alex Hales.
No.
I mean, out, and yeah.
So he got hit twice in the same.
Anywhere near that.
Oh my goodness,
Wow.
that's something right there.
Man,
what a weird sport.
How does that happen?
That's
Well,
odd.
it's corrupt. We know that.
Oh yeah, that's
You ever
crooked
watch?
too.
You ever try
No.
to watch cricket?
No.
It goes on. The matches are like days
days,
long.
yeah.
Right, they can go for like a week or something.
No, I placed a bet one time, and
I'm
I
not
didn't
surprised.
realize that this thing took 5 days, so I forgot
Yeah.
about it. And I probably
Did you
wanted-
win?
I don't know. I have no idea. You know, Ron's telling me on the break here that it happened to the same man, right? Back-to-back pitches. All right, so I didn't realize it was back-to-back pitches.
Wow.
Man.
At some point, you're gonna have to drop that bat and start fighting people, right?
No, it's like lightning strikes twice, man.
Seriously, if
You
that's
know,
how my luck is going to play out, I'd rather win the lottery or hit a hole in one, not get hit
Yeah.
with stones 2 times in a row.
My goodness.
But you could hear that, like you could hear the sound of the ball on ball,
Yeah.
and then you could hear him. You just
Might be a crossing broad post for later today.
There we go.
Yeah.
Content.
Yeah, look,
Seriously.
Eytan's helping out.
well, will we be credited? Will this show be credited?
Yeah, I'll give you a H/T. on the
Okay,
site.
you're not going to
Hat.
go like our buddy Jeff McDevitt, who is now up at WWE. Did you see what was going on with him?
No.
So he came out. So earlier, like I guess 2 years ago. So Fox 29 had a video of some crazy belligerent Phillies fan, and McDevitt took a screenshot of it. And I don't know if he put it on a shirt first or just used that screen cap throughout on Twitter. And Barstool allegedly took that same exact screen cap and put it on the Phillies on a shirt and is now selling it as a shirt.
It's not good.
I'm just saying.
It's not good. I'm prevented from commenting further on that story.
Oh, is that right?
Oh, really?
Whoa.
Wait a second. Can you tell us without telling us why you wouldn't? Can you give us now? Look, I'm going to appeal to you as a reporter / journalist and understand that you might be in a very difficult predicament. But at the same time, I kind of have to ask if there is a generalized, non-specific answer you can give us as to why you can't comment on that.
Conflict of interest.
Because they sell shirts too.
No.
Well, it's a non-content side.
Right.
Conflict of it. Yeah.
Exactly. Because
Okay.
Barstool, or yes, I'm sure that there's something involved with the book. That's all you had to say was the book, right? Okay. Look, Kevin.
Yeah.
Now Kevin's not going to want to come on anymore.
No, you
think
did
Kyle-
it.
You think Kyle
Is
is
this thing
watching
on?
this?
Yeah, this thing
I
is
mean, come
on.
on. Do you think we're even on Kyle's rate? Last time I talked to Kyle, Scott was like years ago when I still worked for WIP and had him on my show. I don't even think you were with the site then.
No. Listen, I would just say that affiliate marketing is very important to the business model.
Okay. So allegedly what happened is a sports book that we don't know, the name we don't know, for a guy that we think used to work here in Philadelphia who might be working for the Worldwide Wrestling Entertainment. Is that what it's called now?
WWE.
Yeah. All right. We'll move on.
Yeah.
Would you rather talk about Cuomo? I mean, what do you want to do here? All right.
Did he do his press conference yet?
I don't know.
I'm not sure.
What's that? What's more anticipated, that or Nick Sirianni giving us an update on Andrew Dillard?
Oh well, let's get it back to the Eagles, as our good friend Rob Ellis once said. Do you want to get it back to the Eagles?
Well, Harry was on that show.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
we were routinely getting it back to the Eagles.
Rob and I go way back, man. He was doing TV at Eyewitness News back in the day when I was there. Yeah, the most reliable person I've ever worked with, Rob.
No doubt.
Yeah,
no question.
Just he was always there. I mean, he
always shows up, ready to go.
Yeah, always on time, like easy to work with. Man, he was like the best person I've ever worked with. He would go on my Mount Rushmore probably of like Philadelphia sports personalities who are genuinely like really good dudes. And I'd put Rob Ellis up there. I'd put Zumoff, Mark
Zumoff, Ellis,
Shander.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Who else? All right. So real quick, we forgot this, and we can't forget this because when we don't do it, we bitch and moan. So Kevin Kincaid is here filling in for Barrett Brooks. He didn't even know he's going to be a part of this. Don't worry. There are no conflicts of interest in this segment. So you can breathe, you can exhale. We're not going to put you on the spot here, but we do this twice a week with Ron Culver. We has 3 stories. One of them is fake, and it's up to us. This is the old Stern bit that I've ripped off ever since, and nobody in Philadelphia has done it, so that's fine. We're happy to. All right, now I'm told this is an OJ edition of fake news.
Edition, because O.J. Simpson recently gave an interview to The Athletic, and so I'm going to have 3 statements from you, and you have to tell me which 2 are true and which one is lie from this interview.
Okay. Now, you do realize that you've got a news honk here in Kevin Kincaid.
Then you know what? This should be really simple.
Okay.
That's how I'm looking at it. You guys ready?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Story or statement number 1. OJ will be auctioning off some of his memorabilia because he simply has too much of it and doesn't need it cluttering up his house.
I believe that.
Yeah, remember, he was so strapped for the memorabilia that he had to go and break into a hotel room, right, in Vegas and track that stuff down. So now the irony of you went around and infiltrated hotel rooms to track it back.
Yeah, that was in Vegas. That's how he went to prison, right?
Only just to sell it off.
Exactly,
right.
Only just to sell it off. Yeah. But at least it's his money. You know, it's like a hip-hop artist owning their masters, right? De La Soul just achieved that.
It's like when the Pharma Bro bought the Wu-Tang album and there was only 1 copy of it.
Boy, I tell you, that album, there's no way that album can be better than the double album. There's no way that album could be better than Enter the 36 Chambers. There's no way that album could be better than Method Man, Raekwon, and Ghost's first 2 albums, right?
Hopefully Martin Shkreli got a bad deal. Hopefully he did not get his money's worth.
Yeah, it was just old dirty bastard being like, bleep you for 16 songs. All right, what's story 2?
Statement number 2.
Statement 2. Sorry.
Statement number 2. OJ claimed that the reason he never goes to LA is because he doesn't want to end up sitting next to the real killer of Nicole Brown Simpson and Ron Goldman.
Now I believe
that
say
too.
Something stupid like that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
The killer's still out there.
Right.
You don't want to.
I totally believe that.
Me too. Watch out. He's telling you, man. This guy's doing you a favor, letting you know that killer's still out there. Right.
He has 0 self-awareness.
No.
OJ.
Absolutely.
OJ's just looking out for the rest of us.
Right. On a golf course near you.
Yep. No, that is exactly highly believable. Okay,
Yeah.
what's number 2 now?
And number 3.
3, pardon me.
Number 3, OJ believes everyone wants his life because he doesn't work, plays golf 4 to 5 times a week, and goes out to dinner a couple nights a week with friends.
Sounds like me.
Yeah, and look, you have to have no self-awareness to make that statement, but we already proved with the second one.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Gravel Pit, we kind of forgot 91 SL on purpose.
Oh.
That doesn't get mentioned in my house.
OJ is so crazy that I could see him saying all these things.
So could I.
Go 1, I think.
Yeah.
But give me one more time, because I think that might be the most.
That's the memorabilia thing.
Yeah, which is the sane. All right, so this is my logic, fellas. I'm going to go with the most sane sounding statement as the fake one. Okay?
All right.
The one that's the most believable because a rational person would say this versus what OJ would say. So I'm going to go one.
That makes sense, actually, because I could totally see him saying each of the other two.
Yeah. All right, I'm with you on that one.
Harry?
We're all riding number one.
All right, public is favoring number one.
Public is favoring number one as well. And you know what? You and the public are all correct today.
Wow. How about that?
Very good.
He did, in fact, say that the reason why he doesn't want to go to LA is because he doesn't want to just by happen chance, be seated next to the killer at some restaurant somewhere.
That was the most believable of them all, by the way.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Of them all.
And yeah, in addition to golfing 4 to 5 times a week or doesn't work, he also says people always want to buy him drinks and ladies always want to hug him.
Okay, I'm still good except for the ladies wanting to hug me.
Wait, was that a real statement that the ladies love Cool James? Maybe that's isn't
Orenthal James.
Well, yeah, Jones, isn't it?
Orenthal James Simpson, I think.
Orenthal James.
James? Yeah. Well, did he take the same J from LL? That's what LL Cool J stands for. Right?
Ladies love Cool James or something like that, right?
So what about that? What about ladies love Cool James? You sure it's not Jones, Orenthal Jones?
I never knew that's what it meant.
LL?
Yeah.
Kevin, man.
Wow. Even I knew that.
You come here boasting about Iron Maiden and you leave here learning about LL.
Wow. Berks County just took a hit.
Not LL Bean.
Not LL Bean, huh?
All right, he got it back with that one.
Yeah, we did. All right, we have to break here coming up because we have yet to break. And Barrett,
not LL Pavorsky,
is in the house. Is he still around? I thought his kid is covering the tournament, right? Boy, that was an ugly breakup that he had with that one. Was it Jimmy Butler?
Yeah.
Somebody just walked off in the middle of a tennis match and completely voided my parlay, so I'm not happy.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, man.
What the hell? And she was winning.
What is going on back
there?
Boy,
if T.Y. Zong just ruined this for me, I ain't going to be happy. We're back at 3. All right. I'm not.
PSG against Strasbourg in a couple days. So will you be watching?
Hold on.
I get scared sometimes.
Of a lot of things.
Joining in.
Decisions.
The dark.
The dark.
But I once heard someone say,
but as I always say,
it's okay to be afraid.
As long as you face the fear.
And keep moving forward.
Wherever you are in life, count on the name trusted in insurance for over 80 years. Independence Blue Cross.
The savoring taste of a good bag of beef jerky is so enjoyable at any time of the day, as long as you can find it. Here's what we suggest. Pure Bull Beef Jerky is our answer, and soon it will be yours. Locally produced in the Philadelphia region, this high-quality, healthy protein snack is easy to secure. Go to steersnacks.com, and you'll see hot garlic, tropical heat, Pure Bull dry rub, and our favorite, Huck and Fod. What's that? Huck and Fod. Go now to steersnacks.com.
Welcome to the Wildwoods, the perfect place where you can safely do everything or nothing at all. Catch a wave, take a nap, go for a drive, grab a bite. It's your vacation, and we're doing everything we can to make it a safe one. The Wildwoods. Your vacation, your way.
The International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local Union 98, is a proud sponsor of The Labor Show with J. and Krause every Saturday night from 6 till 8 p.m. IBEW Local 98's highly trained and superbly skilled electricians are the best in the business, setting the highest safety standards in the electrical industry. So when you're planning your next industrial, commercial, or residential project, choose an IBEW Local 98 union contractor. Learn more at IBEW98.org.
Field of life, First Trust Bank is there for you.
Champions on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Because Philadelphia dreams deserve a Philadelphia bank.
This is a key. It's a family tree. It's a pair of wings. It's a secret handshake. And a ticket to anywhere in the world. It's more than a uniform. It's the door to a world most people only dream of. There's Strong, and then there's Army Strong. Try it on at GoArmy.com.
Brooks and Harry Mays.
All right. And we got about another 20, 30 minutes here. Overtime right at the top.
What's up, fellas?
Barrett Brooks,
What's up,
back
Barrett?
from Eagles camp.
Yes.
Well, now your boy went down today. Were you escorting Andre Dillard from the injury tent back into the complex while he was limping?
I'm gonna tell you this. This is a lot. This is serious, man. Like, this isn't him tapping out. This isn't him, having just like a twinge. He's got something seriously wrong with him, man. So I don't know what it is, but just by looking at it, it's a lot worse than him just not wanting to play.
Wow. So we probably won't be seeing him at all on Thursday night. I understand the starters are going to play, but the coach will not commit to how long. Jalen Hurts is starting on Thursday night.
Oh, as they should. He should start. Give him an opportunity to go out there and play. At this point, yeah, exactly. But just looking at everything, I mean, the offense is so far behind as far as where they should be. Well, where the defense is, put it like that. You could tell the defense is ready, man. They had a crisp practice, making plays, more competitive. They're finishing plays. You can see that they're finishing plays. They're trying to knock the ball loose. They're trying to gain tackle. They're trying to be around the ball. Offensively, like I said yesterday, I mean, if you want to be a starting receiver, you want to be a great receiver, you got to finish, man. You got to catch the rock. Too many drop balls, too many balls on. And that's what differentiates you away from a good offense is the amount of drops you have in practice, how you close plays out. Are you finished blocking? Are you finishing the catch? You finishing the throw? They're not finishing like, you need to be. And, I always go back to my Steelers squad, because that was the last place I was at. But we would go 3 weeks, 4 weeks at a time without dropping a ball in practice. Not even dropping a ball in practice. And they can't even get through a period without a drop. I mean, that's disheartening to say the least.
That's not good, man.
What about pre-snap penalties? I saw that the coach is upset about that. They're doing a lot of things wrong before the snap.
That's what's wrong, man. I mean, they're not. I mean, they got to be where they're supposed to be at. You got to line up correctly, and when you line up correctly, you got to know the snap count. I mean, to give up 5 yards, without even the ball being snapped, you can't live as an offense. You're always going to be behind the buck. So if it's 1st and 10, you're starting out 1st and 15. There's not a lot of play calls you have for 1st and 15. You know what I mean? So those are the little things. If you can take care of the little things, things will start, taking care of themselves. I mean, that's just part of finishing. Right. They're just not doing it.
Back at Boyertown High School, they used to give it to Kevin Kincaid on every 1st and 15.
Kev, what's up, man?
What's up, man? No, they gave it to my friend Mark. He ran for like 5,000. He had like the school record for a while, and then he went to Moravian and he injured his knee, Harry.
Oh boy.
That was the end of that was the end of his burgeoning football career, and he became a teacher instead.
Moravian.
Well, see, I was
Lehigh Valley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't on with you, man. I wasn't on to start off, man. But we were kind of discussing it yesterday, man. Your approach to covering everything, you're very precise, and even if something goes wrong, you're very precise and letting everybody know that it goes wrong. So yesterday, you called out some guys that not necessarily doing things the right way in our profession. Can you tell us a little bit about that, or have you already spoke on that?
Well, first of all, that's like the nicest thing anybody's ever said to me.
We've had him on 30 times and haven't kissed his ass like that.
Seriously. Now, it makes me think that that's not true. If we haven't come across that statement before introducing Kevin, then why all of a sudden now? Because of it. Wait, maybe this is like when somebody wins an Emmy out of nowhere for their coverage on it. Like, we should be putting Kevin up for Bag Wars.
Well, I'm just saying, you know, it started out that way. Like, you know, it started out us talking about, you know, crossing broad, and then, you know, it eventually got back to you. We talked about a lot of Kevins, but you're the Kevin that kept on coming up yesterday.
You know, I see it as my duty to kind of be the arbiter, you know, when it comes to being fair and balanced around here, because there's not a lot of that to go around anymore. So, yeah, I tried to do that yesterday. I'm told that the Pulitzer Prize is en route to Lansdale right now. They FedExed it overnight. No, I think the conclusion that we've all come to advance the story, as we like to say, is that you probably should never go to Twitter for anything ever.
Thank you.
Nothing ever really. Eytan, I'm preaching to the choir here with Eytan on the show. You know, Twitter's biggest fan, Eytan Shander.
Absolutely.
But you know, it's one thing. I would say this. It's like, it's one thing to take the incident itself, and there's another way to respond to the incident. You know, it's like, we don't have video of what happened, so I can't come to a like formal conclusion about it. I can cast judgment on the way somebody handles themselves on social media afterwards, and we can say, you should do this or you shouldn't do that. But that doesn't shed any light to me on what actually happened with the actual incident. You know, I think people in this day and age too have such a problem with compartmentalizing things and putting them into different sectors that need their own kind of analysis, that you just want to lump it all into one big thing. And because you think that somebody acted like a fool on Twitter means that they were also culpable for the incident itself, when those are really two different things.
Yeah, but you'll never get that benefit of the doubt if you or where you are doesn't have a great track record or a track record of elitism.
Well, that's right. I mean, it's the hardest thing to do. That's your baby. I've never seen your baby, but you just casually lift your baby up onto the during the show.
Yeah, I think he did that on QVC on Sunday as well.
I just look, I'm like, wait, he's holding a baby.
Yeah.
Is this legal on YouTube? Or
yeah, that's a real baby, Kevin. That kid is alive.
Oh, what a cutie.
Oh, now there's the crying baby face.
Right.
You just got a new one.
That's like the Lion King.
Breaking down right now. What are you doing to our son?
Man.
Well, all else fails, man. You got to bring the baby in. It'll give you great ratings, man.
Well, I'm just trying to, help the wife out here because I'm working, right? She's a teacher, so she's off now. But still, home with the babies 7 weeks this week.
You are official. This is
trying
peak
to, man.
Eytan right here. Not only does he have 15 different jobs, he's selling motion sensors on QVC out in Westchester, but he's on the air live while holding a baby. This is the
administering a bottle too, I think.
This is pinnacle, Eytan. Really, there's nowhere higher to go.
I gotta get a fake baby.
Yeah, Harry.
Seriously.
If you were single, I would suggest that.
Right. Yeah.
Right. That might
just go to the park in a stroller.
Exactly that.
Go pick up on a mom.
Yeah, exactly.
I'd say, Kev, wait until the next QVC appearance. You'll be seeing me trim my nose hairs live on television.
Oh, wow, man. I got to tune in, man. You really can do it all. You're pushing me for a jack of all trades. I thought I had it going, covering a bunch of different sports and doing radio
but it's all
awards and stuff.
sports,
Now you're doing it with the baby. I can't. I got my daughters at daycare. I can't do it with her.
Well, she's older than my son. That's why. Trust me, if daycare is available for him, I don't know how long I'm going to be holding him.
Yeah, she would be pulling my headphones out and jumping up and down on top of me and doing all. There was a short shelf life on being able to work when she was in the house. So that was
right. See, he can do this right now.
Yeah,
once he gets like
that,
last. It's the reason why they call it terrible twos, man.
That's
right. It leads into terrible 16s. I'm just letting you know.
Yeah, and then you get a three-nager. If you look at my Instagram account, me and my wife were at like a different brewery every week when our kid was 4 months old.
Mm-hmm.
And then every other post, I think, after that, we're just sitting at home on the couch trying to
but that's what everybody says.
Yeah.
It's like, go out now. It's unfortunate because, you've got variants. You've got this RSV. I'm more afraid RSV crap because all your kids are sick and you don't wash and wipe their noses. So they're spreading this cough around here. So we can't go anywhere. That's
we
right.
just got the okay to administer Miralax to our 2-year-old, so that's where we are in terms of the child rearing right now.
Yeah, I was trying to give Harry. Barrett's well aware of the blowout, and I don't mean on top of the head. I mean the rear. So I was trying to give Harry
not the Jersey Shore blowout.
No.
Well, what is this RSV you're talking about?
It's this cough, like cold cough that goes around with kids, and it's a winter sickness. But because everybody's been in the summer and all, he's hungry. That's it. He wants something to eat.
Well, aren't we all? They're not much different than we are.
No.
They need to eat, they need to sleep, and they'll let you know when something's wrong.
I've been eating Simply Organic Doritos during the entire show.
Oh, look
really?
at those.
You feel healthier?
Oh, they're
can you
tremendous.
Tell the difference that there's a little bit of weight off you that normally you'd have with a regular Dorito?
No doubt. I don't get the bloat with these.
Yeah. So I gained 16 pounds when I had my daughter. I don't know how much of that is due to a daughter. I don't know how much of that is due to COVID and just sitting around on my butt. I don't know how much of that is due to nobody's playing sports anymore during COVID or whatever. But I moved up an entire UFC weight class. So I would now be fighting Israel Adesanya for the belt.
Yeah. I can feel your pain. I'm in the process of removing in the last 3 or 4 weeks that weight that I had. But the worst for me was that, we're not far from the Abington Hospital where my wife gave birth. And I don't know if it's the Abington Hospital or if this is just hospitals in general. But Kevin, I ate better in that week. 3 square meals a day, sometimes 4 at 2:30 in the morning.
Yeah. 3 hops in the cot, baby.
It's amazing, Barrett, how a meatball parm is going to put pounds on you when you inhale it at 3 a.m.
It's absolutely amazing. Instead of going through a drive-through, he goes through the hospital.
Yeah.
Give me some more of that.
Right.
Yeah. Where you go? You going to
from Abington?
Yeah,
Abington,
I'm running
Abington Hospital.
Yeah. Yeah, what are you in the mood for tonight? What are my options? Well, there's Wendy's, Einstein Medical Health. I can just roll by there.
They've got great fish sticks on a Tuesday night.
I'm told it's pizza tonight. Yeah.
Okay.
No. This is not Elio's cardboard pizza, some stuff that Shaq's hawking on television. This is I'm talking about real cuisine.
Right.
Here we're talking about. All right.
Sometimes I feel like we're doing the old derailed show here.
Right. Exactly what it is.
Hey, outside of Andre Dillard today, right? Is there any other who?
Can I give you here? Let me do this. Can I give you a Philadelphia Eagles hot take?
Please.
Yes.
I'll take. Okay. All right. I'm really excited for this season. Honest to God, I'm not making it up.
What are you excited about?
Because it's all brand new.
Everything's new.
It's all new.
Right.
I don't know anything about any of these dudes. And to me, that's intriguing. I don't know what the hell Nick Sirianni is. I don't know what Jalen Hurts is going to be. I don't know, who the Sam linebacker is going to be. They had Jannard Avery listed in the unofficial depth charts. But there's so many questions to answer. And I don't have any expectations. I'm just glad to take the Carson Wentz stuff and put it in the rearview mirror. So I don't care. I honestly do not care if they go.
You didn't read that and subconsciously are bringing it back 3 weeks ago on Philly Voice where some dude named Shander wrote that?
Is that what you did? Are you going Posidelphia with me? Are we riding Posidelphia together
well,
this year?
I wasn't being positive in the sense of this team's going to make it.
Yeah.
But my and I'm just busting your stones. My point in the column was nobody's safe. And I love that there isn't politics that's going to put Mac Hollins in front of somebody else on the depth chart. And that even Andre Dillard has a good shot of not playing now.
You know what it is. The best way to look at it in my mind.
Oh, hold on. We got a break on the network. We'll be back in 3 on Sports Map Radio.
All right.
Go ahead.
No, I would just say you're on a fact-finding mission.
Yeah.
You're trying to learn as much about this team this year as possible. Because anybody who's able to look, I know pragmatism doesn't really fly in Philadelphia sports. The Philadelphia sports community. But if you can lower your expectations, you can't be disappointed if you don't have high expectations to begin with. If you kick the can down and think, what can this team be? Then, you're trying to answer as many of those figurative questions as you can this year. You know, you're turning over in a new. You're starting a new era of Eagles football. Everybody said they were dysfunctional when Andy left. They said they were dysfunctional when Chip left. How long did those rebuilds take? It took them 1 year to get back to where they went. Chip was 10-6 in his first year.
Right, but how long did it then take him to go back to being dysfunctional?
Yeah, but that's a natural ebb and flow.
Okay.
You know, so the only football teams that reload instead of rebuild are Alabama, Clemson, and St. Joe's Prep.
Right.
Right.
You know, and Imhotep Academy.
I was
And
just about to say that. Imhotep. Yes.
Don't forget Ohio State.
That's the
Ohio
other one.
State.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, but seriously, I mean,
right,
like
yeah.
it's not, you know, even like, you know, the Packers, one of my favorite stats is like the Packers have had 30 straight years of either Brett Favre or Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Right. And they've had 8-8 seasons in there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it's like, I mean, these things are natural up and down. Everybody who says the Eagles are in cap hell has no idea what the hell they're talking about. Once Carson Wentz's number comes off the books, they're fine.
Next year. I mean,
Yeah,
they'll be up next year. So I mean, you're absolutely right, man. We just this is where I've been taking it. It's this will be a first impression year. You know, you're gonna have your first impression from game number 1 all the way to 17. You know what I'm saying? Because it's all new. You know, you got rookies there, you got rookie coaches there. I mean, these guys are young, and when you're young, you may not know that you're not supposed to be that good.
Mm-hmm.
So I say there's a shot. You know, they have a shot, man.
It's exciting, man. I don't know. It's the great unknown, man. It's like
Right.
that Tom. What was the Tom Petty song?
Into the Great Wide Open.
Great Wide Open. And the wide open is the Eagles season because I don't know what the hell it is. But that's exciting to me because I know what Carson Wentz was last year, and I don't want to repeat that. You know, I was like miserable sitting there watching those games. So it's new, it's different, it's exciting. You're kind of turning the page on the Super Bowl era, and you're moving it forward to the next thing. So I mean, like I know that, like, you know, Philadelphia sports fans always have expectations and they always want to win, but like I got my conscience is clear, man. I'm going into this season saying I don't know what to expect, and I enjoy that. You know.
You see, look at that. Look at that.
Yeah, there you go.
See, Kevin, man, you know, everybody's talking about you're just a thrill-seeking guy that goes out there and tries to ruin guys' articles, man. You're not that. You don't want to ruin everybody's Twitter. You're not that guy. You got your glass is half full right now, man. So I see you from a whole different way now.
I'm actually a pretty like down home and positive person. I don't know. Maybe it doesn't always come across that way. I mean, like when you had got the job of like critiquing the media, I guess you come off a certain way. But like I'm like a simple dude, man. I'll just like hang out, let's drink some beers. I got no like I'm not a complicated dude at all, you know. So.
Well, people say whatever they want to say about me. I don't care.
Yeah,
you know
well, that's where you got. I made the mistake of arguing with the trolls a little bit yesterday, and then just got the blocker out a little bit later. You know.
You didn't call.
I went through the mentions. It was like blocked, muted, blocked, muted, blocked.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like all in a day's work, you know.
If you're going to mute somebody, though, this is what I always do: is make sure you go and first off report that account as fake, because chances are that it's an account with like 22 followers that's been on there for 10 years. And you may or may not actually start a Twitter audit of that account. If you get lucky, you could start a Twitter audit, and that person probably did create an account that is connected to some, you know, fake email, blazeallday420@gmail.com or something.
Eytan 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9.
Yeah.
My favorite technique is that if you have somebody who follows you, you block them and then unblock them.
Yes.
So they stop following you, but they have no idea that you even did anything.
Correct.
So that seems to be the most.
But the mute isn't the mute the most satisfying. Block, you know, immediately. Like Mike Florio blocked me. I know I can't tweet at him, but I'm sure there are people who have muted me that I may tweet.
I've muted you on this show.
There you go. Tony Reale, me.
Part in the interruption. Harry is Tony Reale, and I'm Kevin Blackistone.
Dude, I mean, I go through it. You know, I'm not doing it. I'm like, Harry, come on, man. The Phillies, Mike. Barrett. I'm not doing it. We all see it.
Yep.
We all see it.
Just click the button.
And look what's in the back. We're looking at his background now.
Yeah. That's for one day.
If this was around the horn, who would Eytan be? Would he be Woody Page?
Woody Page. He needs a blackboard behind him.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Boy, I hated that show. That show did so much damage for our business.
I know it did. You're right about
taking
that.
Phone calls for 5 hours on a morning show for the last 35 years and attributing points to a sports argument. I don't know what was worse.
Yeah. Now, Eytan, did you know that Barrett was on the wake-up call with Tony D and Ron Culver today?
Yes.
No, I
Talking Eagles. I heard Play Action Reel says he did a fantastic job.
Wow.
Appreciate that. See, I got to get back with my boys again. Yeah, you're right, man. Ron, double in call me. Ron, appreciate you, bro. Only thing
Ron
is,
called you and you answered. That's
the more amazing thing is that you answered.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I go through this every day. At least they call you and you have to accept. You accept it whether you're going to come on the show or not. Kev, this is what I go through.
Yeah, and at least we got a text today saying that he was going to be out off the show. He's going to be at Eagles practice, so we're making progress.
Yeah,
bro. I just send a text, and I have to send confirmation that it's true too. So I sent a text and a screenshot of the text telling me that I have to be there too.
Yeah.
So,
well, if I were you, I would just say, "Oh, practice is going a little long today. Maybe I'll be back on tomorrow."
That's probably it as well. All right, you guys hang out. Overtime coming up. Kevin, you're gonna probably have to go and do stuff.
Yeah, I got to get back to my actual job now.
All right, I have to go. Just give me a minute, and I'll pop back in before we get out of here. So we're back in 3 for overtime.
I get scared sometimes.
Of a lot of things.
Joining in.
Decisions.
The dark.
The dark.
But I once heard someone say,
But as I always say,
it's okay to be afraid.
As long as you face the fear.
And keep moving forward.
Wherever you are in life, count on the name trusted in insurance for over 80 years. Independence Blue Cross.
The savoring taste of a good bag of beef jerky is so enjoyable at any time of the day, as long as you can find it. Here's what we suggest. Pure Bull beef jerky is our answer, and soon it will be yours. Locally produced in the Philadelphia region, this high-quality, healthy protein snack is easy to secure. Go to steersnacks.com, and you'll see hot garlic, tropical heat, Pure Bull dry rub, and our favorite, Huck and Fod. What's that? Huck and Fod. Go now to steersnacks.com.
Welcome to the Wildwoods, the perfect place where you can safely do everything or nothing at all. Catch a wave, take a nap, go for a drive, grab a bite. It's your vacation, and we're doing everything we can to make it a safe one. The Wildwoods. Your vacation, your way.
The International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local Union 98, is a proud sponsor of The Labor Show with J. and Krause every Saturday night from 6 till 8 p.m. IBEW Local 98's highly trained and superbly skilled electricians are the best in the business, setting the highest safety standards in the electrical industry. So when you're planning your next industrial, commercial, or residential project, choose an IBEW Local 98 union contractor. Learn more at ibew98.org.
Field of life, First Trust Bank is there for you.
Champions on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Because Philadelphia dreams deserve a Philadelphia bank.
This is a key. It's a family tree. It's a pair of wings. It's a secret handshake. And a ticket to anywhere in the world. It's more than a uniform. It's the door to a world most people only dream of. There's Strong, and then there's Army Strong. Try it on at GoArmy.com.
Checking out the stream. You're back on the JAKIB Media YouTube channel. Harry Mays, Barrett Brooks, the middle. For overtime on a Tuesday. And I'm looking here, we were talking about how Barrett actually sent us a text today, or actually last night, saying he was going to miss the show today. And then we found out he was on with Ron Culver this morning. And John Shelton points out that Ron must not have emailed you.
Right.
Because if he emailed you, you wouldn't have been on the show.
I wouldn't even have known about it.
No, right. All right.
He called me and texted me.
That's great, man. Good to know you were on Birds 365 today as well, right?
Yep.
Yeah, making the rounds.
Got
You'll
my
be
work
back.
in.
You'll be back with us tomorrow and Thursday, of course, because they have a walkthrough maybe tomorrow, and then no practice Thursday, and then no practice Friday, right? They have the game Thursday night.
Yep, and just looking at it, the preparation is there.
Mm-hmm.
They know what to do on the defensive side of the ball. They're doing what they're supposed to do. They're finishing. And it's not just the starters. It's the backups doing the same thing also on the defensive side of the ball. They're finishing plays. They're trying to knock balls out, create turnovers, flying around to the ball. Those are all things that you need to be a defense and a successful defense. They're ahead of the curve right now. Offensively, they really got to step it up as far as finishing. Getting the tough catches. Fulgham. The reason why he was so good last year from the beginning part of the season, that's what he did.
Yeah,
he was catching the rock. He was making the hard catches. Until they start doing that, this offense is gonna sputter. It's gonna falter. It's not gonna be able to, keep the chains moving. They'll be able to run the ball. That offensive line is good enough, and the second team is just good also. But until they start finishing and optimizing every single play that they put on the field, it's going to be tough sledding for this offense.
Well, now there's a question here on the stream from Adam saying, Brooksy, how are the rookies on defense doing? Now, I've heard you glow about Zach McPherson already, but what about the interior linemen that they've drafted?
All of them. Williams is playing well.
Yeah.
They move him to the outside. He's rushing the passes well. He's explosive. Very explosive. Then you look at guys, that they were young too, Deshaun Bradley's, Davion Taylor's, that to me, they're still rookies. Until your third game, you're still a rookie. But then you have, a couple of DBs that are playing at a high level also, so I'm looking at them, and, a guy like, the rookie they had from LSU, what was his name? He plays linebacker now, but he's linebacker slash safety.
Yeah. I forget his name too.
But he's playing at a high level. He's playing around. He's flying around. Michael Jacquette's flying around, playing well also. They're looking good, man. They're really looking good. And the reason why is because they're doing everything full speed. Everybody's going full speed. That's Jacoby Stevens. That's what it is, Jacoby Stevens. But they're going full speed. And when you go full speed like that, it gives you an opportunity, if you do mess up, to still play well enough to play your way through it. If you don't go full speed, you're not going to be able to do that. Once you put pads on, that's when the offense can really show who they are. That way the offensive line can come off the ball, start rolling people up. It'll define the run game. But until they do that, it's going to be hard pressed for this offense to really get going.
It's telling you, man, under Thursday night, Steelers Thursday night, just makes even more sense.
What's the total now in that game? 34 or something.
Yeah.
I'd definitely go with the under.
Now, I bumped it up. I have it at 41.5, but I bumped it up.
Oh, my God.
I have that with the Washington game, 43.5 under that. And then the Titans-Falcons, which I'm a little concerned about, I could only bump it up to 41.5.
Washington, New England?
All Thursday night. No, pardon me. Friday is the Atlanta game, yes.
So all
Atlanta,
these games
Tennessee.
are on a Thursday night?
No, one of them's Friday night. Atlanta,
Titans
Tennessee.
are on Falcons. Yeah, Titans-Falcons Friday. But Washington Patriots on Thursday night, as are the Steelers and Eagles. So I tried to bump up as high as I could. Here's another thing, too. This clock is going to run, man.
What do you mean?
I don't know how many offenses in the NFL are going to have their third-string quarterback in the fourth quarter drop back and throw the ball 15 times.
You're going to be running the ball and just grinding the clock late.
Anyway, isn't that more the nature of it as well, where you're going to work on quicker stuff, quicker hit stuff? So I look at it like, Barrett, for a total in basketball where, if baskets are scoring, then you're running contrary to a total going under, but at the same time, the clock is moving. Right. It's not stopping because of a penalty or stopping because of a free throw or stopping because, in this case, of an incomplete pass. So that was just my mentality in all this. And your point about the Eagles and kind of breaking down where their offense is makes me feel a little bit better individually about betting against the Eagles, but also kind of just how I think it's going to be this first week. so many wrinkles and just kinks you have to work out where I'm not betting on that to happen. I'd rather bet on it not to happen.
Yeah, I mean, especially with the quarterback situation being the way it is, and also understanding that they have a lot of young guys that are expecting to step up. You know, you look at the Steelers team, they're looking for young guys to step up. They want their old crafty veterans to take the hold and take the field and be ready to play. And plus, you know, this is their second game. This is their second
for the Steelers. Yeah, right.
Their second game.
Yeah, now we've talked about the baseball game on Thursday night, the Field of Dreams game on Fox National. Yeah. There's only 2 games on Thursday night for preseason, and they're all regional. There's no national game.
But they're not national in the sense of it's being broadcast, but you're going to be able to find those.
Right, NFL networks and stuff. But I'm saying there's not, you know, CBS or NBC is not taking any of those games. So that's probably a give back to, you know, Fox and MLB.
That's exactly what it is.
We won't have a competing national, you know, regular network.
But look at the markets. You've got 4, if not 3, right?
Yeah, the big market. Like Steelers, Patriots, Eagles.
And Washington. And it's a good Washington team. It's not a junk Washington team. That's all I'm saying is like you've got, and these are all baseball markets. You can make the argument that the Nats and the Pirates don't care as much, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Just seems weird that they would do this on the Thursday night. Do it on Friday night. Go up against Atlanta and Tennessee.
Right.
You know?
Absolutely.
All right. Barrett, are you with us tomorrow for
sure.
There's no Eagles practice tomorrow.
Oh, okay. Are they back?
It's a walkthrough, and then Thursday's a game, and then Friday there's no practice.
No practice on Friday either.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. We appreciate you hanging with us. And yeah, we'll talk a little bit more about the team and everything we can leading up to this game. We might even have to
do a breakdown on Friday.
Well, I was going to say that on Friday. Yes, we need to bring back the Barrett breakdown. And also we might need to go out to Pittsburgh. I don't know if Batch or somebody else we can track down, but we should get the Pittsburgh.
We'll get McMillan on Friday too.
Well, that's Friday. I'm talking about before the game.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Like tomorrow or Thursday, we should probably get somebody from Pittsburgh on.
I talked to him. He's flying at C-Batch is flying to town. Max Starks is flying to town. They're covering the game.
Okay.
Well,
let's get Charlie on then.
Will they be available on Thursday?
We'll see. They're flying in. I think their flight lands at like 12:30. Flying in from Pittsburgh.
Why don't we get them on Wednesday then, tomorrow, before they leave?
I'll call them and see.
Ain't making a change. Okay.
Right.
Right.
All right, everybody. Thanks again for rocking. Thanks for Barrett for making it and hustling back here. We'll see you all tomorrow.